right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 18 of Topwater Live. It is March 3rd, 2020, and we have a great episode for you tonight, and a little bit different than normal. So tonight we have the guys from Teachin Fishin joining us, and we're also kind of doing a dual episode, and we are also broadcasting over to their page as well. So everybody over at the Teachin Fishin page, welcome. And of course, as always, Grant, welcome to the show.
Good to be here always.
All right, that's for those of you who have not seen this show before. That's pretty much all he says. So, pretty much. And then, of course, back over at the round table, Mr. Mike Anderson. Welcome.
Welcome. How's it going, everybody?
Good.
Awesome.
Great.
We have a fantastic show for everybody tonight. I'm excited because I don't think there's ever been this many people in the studio at one time for a Topwater episode, paired up with a dual broadcast with the Teachin Fishin guys. So. Awesome show. We've got some great guests. I'm going to take a minute and introduce everybody in the room. So sit tight, everybody. There's about 15 people here to get through. So I'm going to start with, to my left, Luis Ibanez, MKT and Topwater Angler. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good to have you back. You've been at the table last week. And microphone adjustment.
Yeah, you're doing exactly what I told you not to do.
Thought I was all prepared.
It was like in your throat.
Sorry. We good now?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's going to be better. There we go.
Continuing to the left, we'll do a combo introduction here. Jen and Pat DeGeis of Blue Fox Gifts joining us tonight. Also MKT and Topwater Anglers. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Going to get into Blue Fox Gifts and talk about fishing here in just a little bit. So thanks for making that trip all the way across state. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. Mr. Matt Pyatt at the end of the table, Topwater Angler of the Year 2019. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Glad to have you back, brother.
Yeah.
That hat looks fancy on you, too.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Kind of looks like yours.
I love it. I love it. Right across the table from him, also wearing an awesome hat tonight. Fishing personality, fishing with Diesel, MKT, and Topwater Angler, Mr. Matt Diesel. Thanks for being here, bud.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. And to my right, Captain Lance Valentine of Teachin Fishin, gonna teach us some fishing tonight and talk about Teachin Fishin. And happy to have you
Yeah,
again,
thanks for having
making
me
that
over,
trip all
yeah.
the way across state.
That was all right. I had a stop I had to make anyway, so worked out good.
Well, thanks for coming
Thanks
out.
for having us on. This is awesome.
I'm excited. We met up with the Teachin Fishin guys at the Detroit Ultimate Fishing Show and sat down and had a nice long chat and wanted to partner up in some way. And you guys do a fantastic job on your platform, and it's something that we're very passionate about as well. And wanted to find a way that we could pair up and introduce ourselves to you and come together somehow. So we set up this meet tonight, and it's going to work out great. Dual streaming on both platforms tonight.
I don't know anything about that. I'm just here to talk about fishing.
We've got some awesome Teachin Fishin clips that we're going to showcase here in just a little bit after the first segment. So stay tuned for that, everybody. We also have our live studio audience over here tonight, as usual. Topwater Tournament Director, Mr. Cody Hart in the house.
How's it going?
Thanks for coming out tonight, bud.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Nice to actually make it.
I love it. Right next to him, Mr. Heath Atwell, MKT and Topwater Angler. Thanks very much. Got a new Hobie in the garage too, man.
yeah.
You've been playing with that all week.
Yeah, I've been kind of getting there, waiting on one last piece, time to get the fish finder, mounted up 100%. So I haven't done a whole lot of rigging to that, and working more on a few other things like tackle crate and all that. So
Still got a little bit of time left.
oh yeah,
bit
yeah.
of
By
time.
next weekend it should
Not
be
much time.
rigged up 100%. So
Awesome, man.
Unfortunately, no.
Next to him, MKT and Topwater Angler, Mr. Dan Van Dusen. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, good to be here.
Hey, we got a prize pack for you over on that table too. We've owed you for a month or so
Like
now,
me.
so don't leave without that tonight.
I was about to grab a pen and scribble his name out, write mine on it.
And next to him is Sammy K. Thanks for joining. Organized all of our merchandise for us by size that was much needed. So thank you very much for doing that.
My OCD is so. This is gonna give me anxiety. since
She
last
just
week.
couldn't take it anymore. She saw that.
Well,
jumbo
thank you
drop
very
last
much.
week.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight and joining us. We've got an action-packed Topwater Live episode tonight. Lots of different styles of topics, lots of different guests, so it should make for some fantastic conversation tonight. And before we get too far into it, I do want to make one announcement. If you can see the screen, there is a graphic at the bottom of the screen that we actually partnered up with one of the Topwater and MKT sponsors, Mr. Steve Crooks from Water Dog Outfitters, who is running a fantastic tonight-only exclusive deal on the Malone hauler carts. We're going to leave that graphic up on the bottom of the screen, and I'll walk you through what you need to do here. If you visit the topwaterseries.com website, Kyle just threw up another graphic for us. That'll help. Or Grant, I'm sorry, intern Grant. Give credit where credit's due. This exclusive cart, for all of us kayak fishermen, getting your cart from the vehicle or the trailer down to the water, it's always a pain in the butt, no matter what kind of kayak you have. The Malone heavy-duty hauler cart is top of the line. Regular retail on a Malone cart runs about $229.99. Tonight's only exclusive, we're going to let that go for $120. And I'm not trying to get all QVC on everybody here. We're just trying to pass on a savings.
Call now. Call now.
We need a little ticker
Call
down
the
in
number
the
on your
corner of
screen.
Products sold here. But through WaterDog being a fantastic sponsor, he was able to hook all of our angler viewers up with this fantastic deal at $120 for a $229 cart. You will not find that deal anywhere else heading into the season. So simply go to the Topwater Series website. There's a giant logo of the Malone cart, and right under that it says click to order here. That's going to direct you straight to the WaterDog Facebook page, where you can simply click the blue send message button and message Steve Crooks yourself, owner of WaterDog Outfitters, and he can walk you through the ordering details. So we definitely wanted to help Steve out, as he helps all of us out so much. So we're going to leave that graphic up throughout the show. This is a Topwater Live episode 18 exclusive only. Once the show ends tonight, so will that price of $120. So if you need a kayak hauler, there is no better kayak hauler, and jump on that deal. So just wanted to make that announcement.
It's a really nice card. I got one from Saturday.
Yeah, you just picked one up.
It literally takes like 10 minutes to put together. And just like Steve was kind of unsure about, it actually looks, I haven't actually attached it or strapped my Hobie to it yet, but I had it up underneath it, and it looks like it lines right up to where it would fit perfectly, even with a Hobie. So,
well, the cool thing about that Malone cart is it has adjustable bunks on it. So you can move it. They've got the no flat tires on it. It holds up to 250 pounds. So
and then
even Kyle Van Leuven's Hobie's going to fit on it. So
Push it. You might have to take battery out.
I'm just trying to figure out how to hook
and
the
it
back of
actually
your truck and pull it down the road.
collapses down flat.
Yep.
So it takes up a little less room to store.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm
great
happy
cart.
with it for
and
sure.
whether you're rocking an Old Town Predator or a Hobie, whatever you have, the Malone cart's going to fit and adjust with those bunks to your kayak of choice. So check it out. If you're interested in the market, incredible deal tonight. And I just wanted to pass those savings on to our Michigan anglers watching tonight. So you will not find that deal anywhere better. Trust me, we've looked. So moving on tonight. As we introduce Captain Lance Valentine with Teachin Fishin. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
tonight.
Thanks for having me. This is pretty neat.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is.
We try to do a good job, and you as well. I've watched a tremendous amount of the Teachin Fishin videos that you guys have posted on your website. Awesome job, you
Appreciate
guys have.
that. Yeah, you know, it's this new Teachin Fishin adventure has kind of been a tough transition. You know, from we started almost 25 years ago. As Walleye 101, and as we kind of did what we did and taught people how to catch more fish, and this transition to Teachin Fishin, which now is going to cover multi-species and multi-places, and cover the whole fishing world as opposed to just the walleye world. It's a big transition.
It's a big transition.
Yeah, it is.
Now, so you guys started out with Walleye 101.
Yep.
How did was that also Teachin Fishing, or did that
No,
come a little bit
that
later?
was actually walleye. So I started doing seminars. I actually did sonar seminars. That's kind of how I got started back in the late 90s, and I was doing a sonar seminar one time. That's all I did, was just sonar.
Okay.
And I was doing a sonar seminar one night at Gander Mountain Store, and a guy says, "Hey, do you know anything about catching fish on Saginaw Bay?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "Well, actually, we're done. Can you show me what to buy?" So I went over to the store there at Gander Mountain, and I'm showing him what to buy, and he gets all done. He goes, "This is really cool." He goes, "This is just like going to college and taking a Walleye 101 class." And I went, "Oh,
Light bulb.
well, there you go, right? There you go. I'm not the smartest guy you'll meet, but so that's when we started Walleye 101, and the next week I went back and did a Saginaw Bay trolling seminar at that same Gander Mountain, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So, through our seminars and our line of DVDs and all the things we did, we got to the point where, walleye fishing is great, and it's what I do, but I know a ton of people who can teach other species. So
Sure.
I was telling Jen earlier, we have a very, very distinct way we teach, what we call our 8 steps. There's 8 things you have to do in the proper order to catch fish, regardless if you're sitting on a bucket in a farm pond catching bluegills or you're 20 miles offshore in the Atlantic Ocean. Those 8 things don't change.
Sure.
So everything we do goes inside those 8 steps. So finding the people that I've had a chance to meet over the years that can teach bass fishing that way, and can teach muskie fishing that way, and teach pike fishing that way. We're trying to bring all that under one umbrella called Teachin Fishin'. So kind of taking what we do, kind of the way we teach, we know works. We just want to expand it and get it to more people.
I think that's fantastic. Education is the name of the game.
Yep.
And we try to do a tremendous job of that ourselves, whether it's through our angler camaraderie, episodes like tonight where we're just going to talk fishing in general and educate anybody that may pick up on something that they already didn't know. I think that's highly important in our industry here, is to educate as we learn.
And that's what we do. We're all about sharing, right? So we have our Teachin Fishin' Anglers Club. They have their own Facebook page. Our membership, they share information between each other. They don't keep any secrets. I do a lot of Facebook. I post a fishing report after every fishing trip.
That's awesome.
So, we talk about general area we fished, how deep we fished, kind of what we caught, what we didn't catch, what was good, what was bad. So if I go out and catch 100, or I go out and catch 0, I still post, because I think sometimes we forget that it's important that you let people know that you went fishing and didn't catch anything, so they don't go do the same thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's information in a bad report that says, I don't want to go do that, right? So I think that's important. Everybody's embarrassed. Everybody wants to show you these posts of all these fish are holding up. And that's great, but sometimes, if you really want to help people catch more fish, sometimes sharing that you didn't catch them makes a difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we try to be very, very open. That's where the whole education thing came from, and we don't keep any secrets. And there's nothing I do on the boat that I don't tell people about. And I get a chance to do it every day, so obviously I'm probably a little bit better at it.
Sure.
But sharing that with people is just my passion. It's just something that people ask me what I do all the time. And if they don't know, I tell them this. I say, I'm in the smile business. And they're like, you're a dentist or orthodontist? I go, no, I'm a fishing guy. They go, what? I said, have you ever seen anybody holding up a fish that isn't smiling?
Sure.
Have you ever seen a fish picture where the guy isn't smiling, right? Or the angler's not smiling? And that's what we try to do. We try to give people the opportunity and the education to smile more often. And it doesn't matter what they're fishing for, or where they're fishing, or how they're fishing. We just want you to get out there and have a great time.
That's awesome. That's a great philosophy to have. And you're right. I don't know anybody that is holding up a fish and not smiling. That's a great way to put it. I love that. Yeah, I was on like I said, we met you guys down in, I met Dean down in Detroit, and I got to talking with those guys. And I had approached them because we were starting a youth series this year. And I had watched some of the Teachin Fishin' videos and stuff that were on there, and that's primarily what a lot of the youth series is going to be about, is teaching kids fishing.
Right.
And just wanted to pick their brain for a little bit. So I went home and jumped on the website, and just your website alone is laid out so cool. It's set up as Teachin Fishin',
yes.
With the campus map.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so cool.
That's a big shout out to Mike and Brandy. They did all that. So Mike actually had a vision for what Teachin Fishin' is going to be. So I'm kind of sliding what I do into this bigger vision I never had. Right, I just wanted to be a walleye guy. Mm-hmm. First I just wanted to be a tournament guy.
Sure.
And I was really bad at it, right? I fished professional walleye trail for full time for 6 years.
Welcome to my club.
Right, and you go out, you look up there and go, holy crap, I got to beat Keith Cavias and Gary Parsons and Gary Rhodes. What are the chances of that ever happening, right? So my wife told me one year, she always told me, I don't care what you do as long as the bills are paid. She goes, I really don't care. So I started chasing this dream. I quit my job at the bank, started chasing this tournament dream, and one year we were going through expenses for the next year, and she says, hey, she goes, this is all right, but why don't you think about becoming a charter captain? I'm like, who the heck would pay me to go fishing? And she goes, I'm pretty sure some of the guys in the seminars might, and now we do 200, charters a year. And our whole focus on our charter trips, we call them educational fishing charters, as does Dean works for me and Captain Chris. We do the same thing. It's a hands-on deal. If you want to go on a boat, sit on a cooler, drink a few beers and reel and fish, don't come with us.
Sure.
We're going to put you to work. We're going to teach you how to set boards if we're trolling. We're going to teach you how to run the trolling motor, if we're on the Detroit River. We're going to teach you how to use your sonar, not a fish finder. Sonar. Okay. We're gonna teach.
He's
You call him a fish finder.
He's here to teach.
Good point.
You better learn.
So we're going to teach you how to use your side imaging, your down imaging, how to understand how that works, and how to tell game fish from bait fish. And
That's awesome.
Understand how active fish are by how they relate, how they actually look on the screen. So you get on our boat, we want you not just to leave with some fish, we want you to leave as a better angler.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the big deal.
That's really
That's
cool.
what we try to do.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How many times have any of you guys ever been out on a charter where you're literally just there to reel in?
Yep.
Where you don't actually learn anything and you
Reel
don't get
in
to
or hold a bucket.
participate and this sounds like a totally different
When
experience.
we went to South Padre Island and redfish and sea trout, and the guy was kind of surprised because most of the time he has to teach people. He's like, I go out and I'm throwing a swim bait around. And he goes, oh, this is going to be easy. I said, you didn't realize that I was coming fishing with you, a guy who fishes all the time. My wife's over here going, oh, she can fish too? I'm like, yeah. He goes, this is the easiest money I've ever made.
We try to bring that attitude to teaching fishing, right? I consider a charter a 5-hour trip with 4 fishing buddies. I don't treat them as customers. We're going to rag each other. We're going to nod each other. We're going to, I'm going to give it. I'm going to take it. And that's why, my calendar. When I get my new calendar, I open my calendar and it's 60% full because it's all repeats. There's people I go fishing with. Doesn't matter if we catch fish or not. They just want to come back. And that has a lot to do with what we do and how we do it, right? Fishing should be fun. You should never ever get done a day of fishing and go, whew, I'm tired. I just don't want to do that ever again, right? It should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a break.
That's why,
Different than kayak.
that's why we do it.
I would never be. I'm definitely afraid
It's a
of
little
water.
different than kayak. At the end of the day, you go, that wind was brutal.
I'll be more happy to drive around in a kayak. That wind. But that's what we try to do at Teachin Fishing. We're very relaxed about how we teach. We do dig, as I was telling Jen earlier, we dig pretty deep. We want you to understand there's reasons for all these things. We want you to think a little bit more about your fishing. We do dig a lot deeper than most people do with the education part of it, but we still try to make it fun. We try to make it enjoyable, right?
And by doing that, you're only going to make it that much more enjoyable for them moving forward. Once they learn that and it sticks, the next time they go out to do it, whether it's on their own or with a different captain, something like that, they've got that knowledge, that background where they feel more comfortable out there doing it themselves.
And in fishing, I've been very fortunate. I have fished for walleyes all over the country and against some of the best walleye fishermen in the world. What you find out is everybody can fish. You get to a certain level, everybody can fish. It's the guys who find fish faster and gather and interpret data quicker. Because the fish will tell you every day what they want, right? I don't think there's ever a day that the fish aren't biting. I think there's days that we don't figure out what they want to bite.
Sure.
I think that's the biggest case. So we try to teach people that process of thinking. If you catch 2 fish, you have 2 pieces of data. There are some things that were the same about each fish and things that were different. Now you need to start figuring out what those fish start to tell you.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you start paying attention to those details and start digging, like I said, we put an 8-step formula so you can kind of fill in each step and see where you are in the pattern. That's how you catch more fish.
That's awesome.
So,
Now, with Teachin Fishing, started out with walleye.
Yep.
Do you offer bass fishing?
we're getting there. We're trying to build the right staff. Right?
Okay.
It's really hard to find somebody. There's a lot of good fishermen. There's a lot of good fishing talkers. It's hard to find the two.
Find the combo.
And the ones that want to stay inside the parameters of how we teach, right?
Sure.
We're not, I tell guys, we're not field and string, get a blue and silver palm, throw it against a rock, and you got to fish. That's not what we talk about bait fish and bait fish movements and where they are at different times of year and how fish react to them. We talk about underwater, subsurface currents and how that affects fish. We talk about how waves actually hit a piece of structure and actually deflect back at a different angle because of the Coriolis effect of the earth spinning. And that's the kind of stuff we go into.
Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of useful
That's-
information.
that's-
Holy smokes.
That's the kind of stuff we go into, right?
That's fantastic.
Now we also do help you figure out what snap and swivel and what not to tie. There is all of that.
Sure.
But our base, and I think what makes us popular is we go a little bit deeper. We want you to kind of we want to push you to your comfort level, get you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Absolutely.
And really start thinking about it. You can't go fishing and catch all your fish on a blue and silver hoochie and tell me that's the best lure, because the first thing I'm going to ask you is say, did you try a golden blue watcha?
Yeah.
Right? So most people, they catch a fish on something, they catch a second fish, that's all they fish with the rest of the day.
Right.
Well, if you tried something else, you could have caught 20 instead of 10.
Right. I think a lot of people get into that habit. I'm guilty of that a lot. Find something that works and then I'm just stuck to it the whole time I'm out there.
So our 8 steps, again, those 8 steps you have to follow to catch fish, once you fill one of those in, and they're in order of importance, so once you fill one of those in, we want you to keep working to the top or down to the bottom, so you have all of that done. So you can tell me at the end of the day, yes, this was the best bait because I tried 6 different shapes and 4 different actions, at 6 different depths, and this is the one that caught the most fish. You can't tell me this is the best until you do all of this other stuff.
For sure.
Right? And I like to say, fishermen, anglers are some of the most insecure people in the world. They don't ever want to get a no answer.
Yeah.
So we're trying to teach people that if you are catching fish, right, the time to change lures, right, the time to change lure color, lure size, lure action, lure shape, the time to change is when you are catching fish, not when you aren't. Because if the fish aren't biting where you're at, what good does it do to put a different lure out there? If you're on an active pot of fish, now you start to try different stuff, and now you see what is the best. People do it. Most anglers do it backwards. Fish that's not good, they start changing. Fish that's good, oh my God, I can't take this. I wish I would have bought 6. Instead of working
Never really
through the
thought
process
about it like that
catching.
before.
When you're on hot fish, let the fish tell you what they want.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
And that's we tell guys all the time that kind of get some weird eyeballs. If everybody goes out and catches 20, and you come back to the ramp and catch 20, so what? You're average.
Right.
Yippee. I want everybody else to catch 20. I want to come back with 40.
Right.
Because I worked a little harder at it. Right. I figured out something different. And when you do that, even when the fishing's really good, what happens is the days everybody else catches 1, you catch 5. That's when I'm impressed. I don't care that you caught 20 and everybody else caught 20. I hope so, right? If not, buy some golf clubs. I like it. You impress me when everybody's catching 1 and you catch 5, because now you've done something.
Right.
And we tell don't ever judge your success. Don't judge the success of your fishing day by what the limit is. That's just a random number set by the DNR to keep the population right. That's not how you judge your day. Your success should be judged on what everybody else caught.
Absolutely.
So everybody else got 2 and you got 8, give yourself a pat on the back. So that's why we teach the way we teach is every time you catch a fish, you answer these 8 questions, fill in those blanks and start to see what's important and what's not important.
As like a tournament bass fishing guy, that's the most frustrating thing you'll ever hear in your life is when you go, I only caught 2 fish, and the guy goes, I caught 40. And you go,
you don't have to be a tournament bass fisher to be frustrated by that.
are you kidding me? On this lake? You were on this lake, right? Are you sure? There's not a dam you didn't lock through or something. I mean, you caught them on this one. I can't tell you how many times fishing bass boat tournaments years ago, and it was like, oh, this is a struggle. We're not catching anything. We come in and the guy's got 20 pounds. He's like, yeah, I was culling in like 10 minutes. I mean, I'm throwing back 3-pounders left and right, and you're going, I just want to catch a fish.
Now, when that happens, what I do is I'm really down in front of your car until you tell me what you did. You're not leaving, right?
I just go in their boat and look. I mean, they can only shoot once.
And when that happens, I don't want to know what lure you're using. I really don't care what lure you're using, right? So I'll back out, and the three things I want to know every time I go fishing, I want to know what part of the lake you're fishing in, how deep of water are you fishing in, and how deep are you fishing. If you give me those 3 things, I'll figure out the what. Too many of us are too quick to go, what lure are you using, what color are you using? If I took you out to a 100-acre lake and said, here's the best lure, how long is it going to take you to fish that whole lake with that lure?
If you tell me you're catching them on rocks, I can go find some rocks.
Exactly. And it doesn't really matter at that point what you catch them on, you're going to figure that out. So we want people to learn, the first 3 steps or 8 steps are be in the right location, be in the depth of water, know how deep the fish are with your sonar. And then know how deep your lure is. Right?
You know we're going to run with this for like the next 6 weeks, right?
Your new nickname, Sonar.
Even if I'm not part of the show.
You're no longer Heath to us. That's
kind of what we try to figure out, right? And from there, you made a great point. You were talking about guys catching walleyes by accident, throwing spinnerbaits in the weeds.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh because that's not by accident. You just figured out there's active walleyes in shell cover chasing aggressive lures. Unfortunately, some walleye guys will hear that and they'll go out to the middle of the lake because walleyes have to be on the bottom where the sun doesn't burn their eyes and it's really cold water. And you're like, no, you just drove over the best walleye fishing. So people get these clues and they just aren't thinking about what those clues tell them.
We were. It was on Muskegon Lake. We were, my buddy I was with was catching them, doing something else. I said, the wind's blowing. I'm going to throw on a spinnerbait. Started catching smallmouth one after another, and then all of a sudden I started catching walleye, and it's like, well, I could fill the boat with good eater walleye right now.
And it's not by accident.
We're in like 6 foot of water, and the walleye guys are in like 60 foot of water.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's funny, next Tuesday, it's a shameless plug here.
Yeah, plug it.
Next Tuesday at Teachin Fish, what we're doing is we're doing a breakdown of the 8 steps.
Okay.
And next week is our second step, and we're talking about how to figure out the depth of water to be in and how deep the fish are. And one of the things we talk about is bait fish. What are the bait fish options? Where are these fish at? And so many times people will fish deep. So let's just take your example. So you're on a lake that has shiners, and let's say the main open water forage is shiners.
Yeah.
Well, shiners eat plankton. Well, plankton lives at the surface. And the hotter, flatter, and calmer it gets, the more plankton there is, there's more shiners. So a walleye guy goes, oh my God, if it's hot and it's sunny and the water's very clear, I need to go to the bottom, and all the walleyes are 3 feet under the surface, feeding on the shiners that are up here. So people are fishing backwards a lot of the time. So that's what we try to do. We try to teach all of these things. Go look at.
That's awesome.
Think about what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah, for
Put
sure.
it into our system and try to figure out exactly what you're doing.
That's something when we go down south to remember too, is the bait fish are chasing the plankton. So if the wind's blowing at all in the back of a cut, there's going to be bait fish in the back of a cut no matter what. And it might be too much bait fish. There's such thing as
There definitely
way
is.
too
Yes,
much.
there can be times you have too much bait, right? You see too much bait on your sonar, and there can actually be fish there that aren't actively feeding because they're so full.
Yeah, or they just have to go.
How do you make that determination when
You
you're
fish
seeing
it.
a ton of
Yeah.
activity on your
Yeah.
sonar, and like, how do you know? Well, that's too much. I need to move away from.
As you get more experience, you can actually start to tell on your sonar how fish are actually acting. We've got some really cool screenshots where you can actually see there's basically 3 groups of fish on the sonar at the same time, and a pot of bait, and there's fish actually in that bait that I wouldn't fish for because they're in real bait. There's fish above that bait that are actually pushing bait against the surface. Those ones I would go get. Then there's fish on the bottom who have fed and are on their way down. So people will look at that and go, okay, there's fish there, there's fish there, there's fish there. Now they're all scrambled.
Right.
They put 3 lures out of 3 different depths when they should have all 3 lures up here because the active fish are up here.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of thinking what is happening, right?
And confusing the fish, because the fish pushing to the surface are the ones that are going to get confused the easiest.
Yes, they're the dumb.
Because
We call
the
them dumb.
bait's on the
Yeah, we call them
top.
stupid fish.
Yeah.
The dumber they get, the easier they are to
You
catch.
throw it in the middle of a bait pod, the fish is, I mean, he has no problem. You throw it at the guys on the bottom, they're going, yeah, I'm fat, I'm good.
Yeah, they're good to go.
Too many people try to catch fish that don't want to bite. That's one of the things that we say a lot. People want to spend too much time fishing for fish that don't want to bite. They're either too tight in cover, too close to the bottom, around too much bait. Stop. Go find the dumb ones. Go find the ones that are up, moving around, and they're happy and they're stupid.
Dumb fish
You know,
are fun.
wiggle, wiggle, shine, shine. I got one. They don't care. Right?
They all fight the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, we try to teach people to be a really bad fisherman with the completely wrong presentation in the right place than worrying about being a good fisherman with the right presentation in the wrong place.
And people also think that the smart fish are the big ones. Like the ones on the bottom that have already fed before you got there, everybody thinks, oh, those are the big ones. I got to fish for those.
Not always.
Not most of the
There
time.
you go.
Most of the time, the big ones are feeding nonstop, and they don't get full because they're so big.
That's why he's angler of the year.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Wealth of knowledge.
So we try to teach you the process of thinking. I guess
awesome.
if you want to break down what we do, we try to teach you the process of thinking, and we want you to leave everything we do go. I had no idea that was part of the process, right? So
Absolutely.
and it all comes from just being on the tournament trail and getting my rear end kicked on a regular basis and trying to figure out why.
That's my process right now. I show up, get my butt kicked. I take home a couple takeaways. Add
new
it-
year.
Add it to the bank.
You
Yeah,
got new fishing rods.
it's a new year.
That's a blunt guy. I'm fishing.
Yeah.
Automatic
If I just keep buying
My
more
new shoes
gear,
make me run
eventually it's going to
faster.
happen, right?
My new shoes make me run faster.
Yeah, at least I'm going to look awesome out there. Somebody's going to think I know what I'm doing. Well, we've given away a bunch of information here in a quick manner. So, and a lot of really good information in a quick manner. So what I want to do is tell our viewers watching at home that if they get the chance, I want everybody to check out the teachinfishing.com website. When you go to that website, as I mentioned earlier, it's set up like an educational EDU type website that you would see for a school or a college. Go to the campus map. The campus map is really cool, and I'm a techie guy. I nerd out on this kind of stuff. And you
That
go,
was not me. That was Michael. That was not me.
well, he did a fantastic job laying this out. When you go to the campus map, and do it after the show's over, click on the campus map, and you're going to see a couple different breakdowns on the tab. And they've got the library, they've got study hall, they've got AV hall, on location, the campus store. But let's start out with the library tab. You go into the library tab, and they've got a ton of different separated segments of just general information.
And it's all free, right?
It's all free.
All
So
that
it's not like
information.
Bash U where
All
you-
that stuff is free.
No, all that.
Now, so we are at some point going to have a subscription service where
Yep.
we'll give you a little deeper stuff and kind of let you participate in some events.
Yep.
But 99% of our content
That's awesome.
is free.
Yeah,
Knowledge
that's
is
great.
priceless. So people
Again, we want everybody to catch more fish,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
a lot of people took a lot of time to help me become a good angler. It's
Mm-hmm.
only fair that we pass that on.
I think it's awesome, and these guys did a tremendous job laying this out. Like I said, if you go to the library, it's more in article form, where you click on the subject, you read the article. You go to the study hall type form, and I'm clicking on it here, and they've got it broken down by months. You can click on the months, you can see what subjects they've covered during that month. But then you can go to the AV hall and listen to all the different podcasts that they've put. There's a ton of podcast clips on there. It's just more information. And like we talked about at the beginning, like education is the name of the game when it comes to us going out and being better anglers. So
Well, and like, being in this business, right? Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by reading, seeing a minute and a half clip. Other people want to watch a 30-minute seminar. So we try to, it's hard for us because there's so much content you try to put in so many forms. It takes a lot of effort.
sure.
I'm learning, which I had no idea about. Because here's the kind of guy I am. I got a seminar at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. At 6 o'clock, I sit down, I make a PowerPoint, I leave at 6:30, I'm there at 7, and we got a seminar, here we go. Apparently in this part of this world, it doesn't work that way. Apparently you guys need some time to prepare.
A little bit of prep.
Michael's at that end, right? Where, if you don't get something to me 60 days before time, I can't do anything. I'm like, well, I got a half hour, let's make a seminar.
Yeah, right.
So we kind of had to, him come my way a little bit, me go his way a lot of bit,
Sure.
which is right.
That's our happy medium
Yeah, and
here.
the more prep you do, the better the product is, right? And
Absolutely.
you know that. So that's why we do everything we do. Some guys like podcasts, and some people like to watch a seminar, and some people like live events. And so
I know a
doing it
lot
all.
of people. They like to listen to it while they're driving.
Yep.
Listen to it while they're at work. They can't physically sit and view it while they're working, but they can listen to it while they're working. And to have those different outlets, to meet all those different needs, I think you guys did a top-notch job setting that up.
That's all Mike. I'm just talking head.
Is that Mr. Wagner?
No, Michael Ray.
Michael Ray.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Mike Ray. Yeah.
So
that's him and his wife Brandy. I just go and talk about fishing.
they did a fantastic job, and we
Do what you do, right?
we mentioned a little bit ago about the Anglers Club. So can you tell us a little bit about the Anglers Club and how that breaks down?
So there's two different parts to the Anglers Club. Starting in April, we will have a subscription service at Teachin Fishin, where you'll get it'll be a yearly fee and you'll get special content, right? The Anglers Club started years and years ago as guys who just wanted more hardcore information. So what we do for them is we do one seminar a month. It's just for them. They have their own Facebook page, their own private Facebook page. We do a 45 to 50-minute seminar just for them. And then if they happen to be in our part of the world, we go to Johnny's Pizza there in Fenton once a month.
Oh, geez.
Then we have a meeting where they can come and we can actually discuss the seminar that we talked about, get a little deeper, talk a little bit more about fishing. So that's kind of a little standalone thing that came from Walleye 101 and kind of slid this way. So now that we're reaching a bigger audience, we can do a recorded seminar in the studio, and everybody can get that if they want to become a member. So we'll have a subscription service that'll get you some other stuff, but we'll also have the Anglers Club that's a little bit different. So just
I like that.
so much stuff.
I like
going
that a
on.
lot. I know the Anglers Club. I think there's 3 different types of memberships.
There's two right. We
now?
narrowed it down to 2. Yeah.
Okay. I see there's a base, a plus, and then a family.
Yep.
What 2 did you narrow it down to?
So basically, it is a $30 a year membership if you want access to the
For the base membership.
private Facebook page, and you get to watch the one seminar a month.
That's awesome.
It's $100 if you want all of that. Plus, you get the ability to come to Johnny's Pizzeria in Fenton once a month.
For the live.
Once a month and actually talk.
That's
with
awesome.
us, right? And basically, that extra $70 covers the fee to be there. We do a Christmas party every year. That's included in there. So it's just kind of pays for us to be able to get on the road and
Heck
go
yeah.
and do that. And guys like that. They like that. They just like to come. Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's why I like that
might
concept
start
so
hanging out
much.
with Johnny.
There you go.
That's right down the road.
I can't tell you what day it is, so we're getting ready to change it. So I don't know. Where
I'll
you're
just
gonna
pop in there every day.
go. Well,
He's sitting there in the
we'll let you
corner.
know.
Valentine.
We'll let you know.
You see this guy?
So I mean, when you get 50, 60 anglers together, I mean, something fun's going to happen.
Heck yeah.
right? Everybody's going to lie.
That's how you
That's
learn.
part of it. We're all going to tell lies a little bit. But it's funny, we have such a good group of guys
I only catch little fish.
who have learned, and now some of the anglers that are in the club have kind of taken a leadership role, and they'll find a subject that they're really passionate about, or they really know, and they're the featured speaker.
Expand on it,
I don't
yeah.
have to go stand up there anymore.
That's awesome.
That's fun for me. It's like watching your kid grow up, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
hey, look at that. I remember this guy didn't,
He called it a fish
reel
finder,
spinner
now
like
it's
this.
sonar.
Yeah, he had a fish finder. and had a spinner on the top of his rod, right? I remember when that guy
absolutely.
was that way, and now he's up here teaching, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I love that concept. And honestly, that's what spurred this whole Topwater Live thing. We started the Topwater series where we all went out fishing with each other, and such great camaraderie and that angler bond that everybody became friends throughout the season. And once October ended and the season was over, well, how do we keep getting together and talking about fishing, swapping these stories?
What do you do?
Let's run a podcast.
Right. No, I talking to you. I can't wait to share what you guys do with our. It's just you guys. It's an amazing concept of what you do.
Thanks.
You'll probably never see me in a kayak. I am definitely afraid of the water.
Some of these
I'd
kayaks
be okay if I knew
are
they
probably
weren't-
about as big
I-
as your charter boat.
I freak out about going over and trying to get back up.
That thing that Kyle's got, you ain't flipping out of that thing.
So maybe I need to go fishing
Work,
with Kyle
yeah.
one time.
Yeah, you're not going to roll that thing.
Yeah, you
You'd have to
both
try.
can fish in it
Both
together.
He's not
Stand
kidding.
up, walk around.
Really?
You can probably put
It's
the rubber in
huge.
there and grill.
17-foot bar.
So maybe that's a goal for this year. Is
Get you out
the old
in a
fat guy
kayak.
in a kayak and see what happens.
Absolutely. We've got events
join the
all
rest of
around your neck of the woods. So
I don't think you'd be the biggest guy we have fishing.
no.
But I think it's neat how you've kind of tiered your stuff for how serious an angler wants to be. There's different options. It's just an amazing. It's a really really cool concept.
Yeah, it's definitely a graduation of experience type tier system where we can start out with the youth anglers and they have their own separate series and we can literally teach them fishing. So
And we were talking earlier. That's the beauty of the kayak, right? Is when I was a kid, we used to ride our bike down to the farm pond and you go fishing, and mom and dad didn't care as long as you're home when the street lights were on, or you weren't going to get nothing's going to happen. A little different now, right? Kids can't ride. You can't get 3 kids ride their bike down the river and go fishing.
Yep.
Or there's no access anymore. That's the worst part. Or the only access is at the boat ramp and people shoo them off.
Yep.
Well, a kayak is affordable enough that you can get people, young or old, doesn't matter.
Get 'em out on the
We
water.
have to. The biggest thing that we do for those of us who are anglers, we want to continue to grow the sport. We have to teach people how to love fishing, and not catching fish, but to teach them how to love the experience of fishing.
sure.
There's no better way right now than a kayak. It's inexpensive, it's easy, you don't need a lot of gear, a bag or 2 of tackle and 1 or 2 rods, and you go fishing.
It starts not needing.
It starts, yes. Let me back up. Sorry,
Oh.
let me back up. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have more than
Oh
a
yeah.
bag of lures.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you call it? No, yeah.
So what you guys are doing is amazing. Honestly, it's amazing because to create a series where someone who doesn't know anything or a kid can actually come, or an inexperienced kayaker can come and not feel, I'm sure
The pressure.
Meeting you guys here for the first time, that they're going to be welcomed and you guys are going to do everything you can to help them enjoy it. And it doesn't matter what we fish for or how we fish, we have to get more people to fall in love with fishing. Because
Absolutely.
the people that don't want us to fish talk with one voice. There's less of them, but they talk with one voice.
Absolutely.
We talk with too many voices as anglers. We have to learn that we have to talk as one voice. And the more people that we get to fall in love with fishing, the bigger voice we have.
Absolutely. And, expanding from the youth series, every day we get new and new additions to the Topwater and the MKT page of new members that have never done it before. These are adults. They may have gone out kayaking a couple times while they're camping or something like that, but introducing them to the tournament setting is all brand new to them. And we want to expand that education to them just like we would our youth in a welcoming environment. And we really enjoy we'll call it a grassroots type setting. the Topwater series, we're not looking to be the next pro tour. We don't want to be that. We enjoy our Tuesday nights where there's 35 of us out there that we all know each other and we can stand at the launch and swap stories and yeah, that worked for me, or that didn't work, and I caught all mine over here behind this pontoon, and so the next time you go out there, you've got that information and try to teach them and pass on tips and best practices. And for us, that's what really makes this club special. With us, we're non-exclusive. It's open to anybody at any experience level, and that just makes it enjoyable to see those newcomers.
And that's awesome, because people who are new are always afraid, right? You don't
Exactly.
want to ask them questions. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to. So if you give them a place where they can feel like they're welcomed, right? I think you guys are doing an awesome job.
You
Thank
spend
you
one
very much.
Tuesday night where lightning is hitting, and we all get off the water real quick and stand around and BS for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious how
a good
much
time.
intentional T-boning there is in kayak tournaments. Is there any?
Nah.
There's,
No.
a lot of banana flinging and
Yeah.
and razzing, but it's not.
More aggressive swans than T-boning.
When you start to look at the price of some of these kayaks,
There's not much T-boning going on.
This with aggressive swans this past season?
Yeah.
Or two?
I'm
You only
not
got to
a-
watch
Sass
that.
and paddles.
Not a big fan of the
And
swans.
glitter boats. Glitter boats.
Glitter
Yeah.
boats.
It's a protected species, though.
Somebody had suggested
So am I.
Protect myself. Protect
You're
myself.
invasive.
Kayak jousting.
kayak jousting.
I like
I'll
that.
take your spot if
I
I.
like that. I like that.
We did have one
We're supposed to have
kayak
a match for
jousting
that.
match
Yeah.
set up this
Yeah,
past
a
year
jousting match.
that
Matt
fell,
Elliott.
fell through. So
But I think if everybody who's an angler takes it upon themselves, we have a saying at Teachin Fishing: don't take your friends fish, take your friends fishing. Right, and that's one of the things we try to do, because the better you are at angling, the better we can teach you, the better chance you have of taking somebody with you. You don't want to take your friend if you're going to go for 5 hours and catch one.
absolutely.
So the better angler you become, the more apt you are to take somebody else. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow that, teach you so you can teach somebody else, and then they can teach somebody else, and that's kind of the whole idea of what we're trying to accomplish.
I love it. And you guys have done a fantastic job setting this up, and a wealth of information. And anybody that's interested, again, go to the teachinfishing.com webpage. If you have any questions or you want to get in contact with the Teachin Fishing team, there's a contact tab on the far right side. Click it. You can put in your name, your email, send them a message if you have questions. If you're interested in joining the Anglers Club, please check it out. It sounds like an amazing time.
And make sure they sign up for our newsletter. We'll have a newsletter starting in April, so we'll keep everybody abreast of what's in. And I'm looking forward to kind of sharing what you guys are doing in our newsletters.
Thank you very much.
I think
That's why we're here. We're hitting it for the education. We want to, the whole goal is to get as many people out on the water fishing as we can, and to set up that type of environment and educate them along the way. I'm, in the kayak world, tournament style, I'm still new to this, and I'm still learning something new every week, and I enjoy it so much. And to surround myself with all these like-minded people,
The best part of this industry
makes
is the
it
people.
so fun.
The best part of this industry is the people.
Absolutely.
You meet a few that you kind of like,
I was about to say,
There's
the
always
best
those
part's
guys.
the best, is the people, and the worst part.
yeah, but that one's really that big, right? Yeah, most are pretty good, and it's a pretty simple bond to share, right? And you guys are doing an awesome job.
Well, thank you very much. We are going to take a quick commercial break here in just a minute. Before we do that, though, we're going to do one little giveaway. We've got a couple of them for you tonight. First giveaway tonight, we're going to give away 3 packs of the Berkley Power Baits. And to be eligible for the Berkley Power Baits provided by our sponsor, Pure Fishing, we want you to jump on Facebook, jump over to the Teachin Fishing Facebook page, give them a like, and then let us know on the Topwater podcast page that you have done so. And we will randomly draw a name to give away those Berkley baits. So take that. Yeah, absolutely.
we got 2 different broadcasts going tonight. So do you want to do one for each side? Or
Let's give away 2 different 3-packs of Berkley baits
or am I screwing things
provided
up
by
here?
our Pure Fishing sponsor.
So
How do you want to do that on the dual
Why
broadcast?
don't you do it the other way? Why don't you have
Yeah.
our guys
yeah, I
like
say
your page?
flip it around.
There you go.
See, me and him are thinking.
There you go. So jump over to the Teachin Fishing Facebook page, give them a like, and you got to let us know that you've done so. Just say done, and we'll add your name to the random list. And for you guys on the Teachin Fishing page, jump over to the Topwater series or the Topwater TV page. Give us a like and just let us know done. We'll give away 2 separate 3-packs of Berkley Pro Baits, and we'll randomly draw those here in just a couple minutes. There you go. Kyle or Grant just threw
Kyle
up the
is on
graphic.
it. Those guys are
He's
on
it.
Actually, I screwed it up first, but
I wasn't going to say anything, but it's
Totally-
like,
totally
like
threw up-
casting into a tree, then you get it out before anybody sees.
totally threw up the wrong one first.
It's okay, it's smooth.
So yeah, we'll give away 2 separate prize packs on that, and let us know once we randomly pick the winner. We'll get a name and an address from you. If you're locally here, feel free. You can stop by the studio any Tuesday night and hang out with the audience, hang out with us. If you're a little bit too far away, we'll definitely get those in the mail to you, and we'll gather that information.
How soon? He must take his home with him.
Yours is on
I've
the
got
table
some to take
right there.
home.
And before we go to that break again, I want to mention the Water Dog exclusive running tonight on the Malone Kayak 250 hauler carts. If you're interested, you won't find a better deal at the 120 price point. That's over $100 off the regular retail price. So time is running out on that deal. Jump over to topwaterseries.com and click the order button. It'll direct you to the Water Dog Facebook page where you can send a message directly to owner Steve Crooks to take down that information. So quick little plug there. We'll leave that graphic up for a second, and I think we're going to take a quick little break here and grab a refreshment. You guys ready for that?
Sure. What are we running a commercial, or what are we running here?
You want to run some?
We're running.
You're the producer. I'm just
We got
pretty face.
We got a few videos from Teachin Fishin.
You didn't tell him 6 weeks ago. He can't do it. You didn't tell him 6 weeks
We
ago.
do have some Teachin Fishin clips that were sent over to us, and I'd like to play those for everybody watching.
Why don't we run those? We'll come back, talk about those, and
Yeah.
then we'll talk for a few more minutes, and then I think Kurt Smits is going to be on here in a little while. So
Sounds great.
cool.
All right.
You know, an important safety tip when you're setting up your sonar and GPS units, when you're setting up your overlay data, one thing I like to do, especially with my charter customers, is I like to always have my current latitude and longitude somewhere on the screen. I do that, number one, I want to know where I'm at, where I'm fishing, so if someone calls me, I know about where I am in relationship to them. But the big thing I like to do is I like to have that always on the screen in case there's an emergency. If something happens to me, I want my customers to be able to get help right away. So by having latitude and longitude on every screen, because remember, overlay data we have to set up for every page, but by having that latitude and longitude, our current position on the screen, on every screen, we can tell our customers, hey, if something happens, look in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, that's our latitude and longitude that you want to give to the Coast Guard, whoever's coming to help. Use your overlay data, add your position off your GPS, put it on every single page. You can shrink it, make it a little bit smaller if you want, but make sure it's on every page that you may use. That way, if there's an emergency, it's very, very simple for anybody on the boat to know exactly where we are and get help to us in a hurry. Your boat can go, you should be able to see side. You know, if you're a Lowrance user and you're not using Insight Genesis, you are missing some really cool features. You can see on my unit here on the left side, I have a custom-made Insight Genesis map with bottom hardness readings. And over here, I have the Navionics Platinum that I pay about $225 for. Notice the difference. We've just got a basic shipping channel on our Navionics, but on our Insight Genesis, we have everything we need to catch fish. Not only do we have the actual real depths, but we can tell by the color of the bottom, we can actually tell the bottom compositions. We have soft bottom over here, a little bit harder bottom here, and very hard bottom up here where it's bright red. Using this custom map with 1 foot contours and bottom composition from Insight Genesis makes you a much more efficient angler. When you see your waypoints on top of 1 foot contours with bottom composition, they start to really tell a fishing story as opposed to the same waypoints on a spot where there are no contours. Use Insight Genesis, check out our videos that show you how to use it. You're going to get a lot more fish by knowing exactly where the fish are, exactly what depth they're at, and getting up to the minute custom 1 foot contour maps that you can't get from any outside third source. Insight Genesis is going to help you catch more fish every time you're on the water. Side scan up to about 40 miles an hour and down scan as fast as your boat can go. Dial in your transducers, you'll see a lot more fish, catch a lot more fish. You'll be surprised how many fish you're actually driving over every day once you get your units dialed in. You know, one of the things we hear a lot is, how do I get my sonar to work at high speeds? And the key is transducer placement. We're zipping across the lake right now at a little over 40 miles an hour, and I've got a good downscan picture, an excellent sonar picture I can see fish, and I've got a side scan picture. Guys, take a little bit of time. The only way you can do it is spending time on the water, adjust your transducer, go run, see if it gets better, change it again. Move your transducers until it gets perfect. You should be able to get a good solid bottom and see fish as fast as your boat can go. You should be able to see side scan after about 40 miles an hour and down scan as fast as your boat can go. Dial in your transducers, you'll see a lot more fish, catch a lot more fish. You'll be surprised how many fish you're actually driving over every day once you get your units dialed in.
Water Dog Outfitters. Your on the water retailer wants you to try it before you buy it, with a free 15-minute paddle or pedal before any kayak, paddleboard, or bike purchase. Water Dog Outfitters is also the newest Magnum e-bike dealer, offering one of the best electric assist bikes on the market. Looking to rent? Water Dog Outfitters offers kayak, paddleboard, and bike rentals too. We're located just off the Hart Montague Bike Trail. Water Dog Outfitters, 20 minutes north of Muskegon in Montague.
Hey guys, Fletcher Track here, Abu Garcia Pro. I want to talk to you today about gear ratio speed while flipping and pitching. You know, flipping and pitching is something that I do quite a bit. I primarily use the pitching technique. And when you're using the pitching technique and you're pitching the bait out there, it's very important to be able to bring that bait back really quick to make another flip. And the only way that I'm able to do that successfully is by using a high-speed gear ratio reel. This is the new Revo Rocket. This thing turns 41 inches per turn of the handle. So I'm constantly getting my bait in the cover to the bottom, obviously, and back out to the next spot as quick as I possibly can with a higher speed gear ratio reel.
It doesn't matter what you fish, you need the right bait. Berkley Power Bait, now in 54 proven shapes. From craws and creatures to worms, grubs, swim baits, and more. And 85 sizes. And all are infused with that deadly Power Bait flavor. Fish bite and won't let go, giving you up to 18 times longer to set the hook. And that means you catch more fish. Yeah, it's time for a bigger tackle box. Berkley, catch more fish.
Take that quick intermission as we got a new refreshment, and we're back here with Captain Lance, and since we're doing a little bit of a dual episode tonight and we've got all the Teachin Fishin fans watching tonight, wanted to talk a little bit about what the Topwater series is.
Yeah,
so just kind of gain that or send that information off to a new viewership.
So start this way. You've said MKT a couple times.
Yep. So MKT, short for Michigan Kayak Trail, which has been a fantastic kayak tournament trail here in the state of Michigan for a number of years. Our good friend Tom Mullins plays a key role in the Michigan Kayak Trail as a tournament director, going out getting sponsors for that trail. The Michigan Kayak Trail is one of the largest kayak tournament angling groups in the country. I think the state of Michigan ranked third, if I believe right. I think California, Texas, Michigan, as far as kayak angling numbers, and Michigan Kayak Trail played a huge role in getting people out on the water competing in tournaments. And it's definitely more of a top tier tournament. You know, we've got anglers coming from Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, people coming from Wisconsin over to compete in these style of tournaments because it's big payouts, big prizes, you know, and the angler of the year for that walks home with some fantastic prize packs. And we fish some fantastic bodies of water here in the state of Michigan, all over the state. We have a couple of combined events this year with groups like KBF, the kayak bass fishing, the guys that helped start it all and spread the word over on Lake St. Clair on our neck of the woods. And then we've partnered up with people like Summit Sports for a Saginaw Bay Open and another Lake St. Clair event with them for the Border City Classic. So some major events. And so we've mentioned MKT a couple times, so definitely wanted to pass out a little bit more information about them. And you can check them out on the Michigan Kayak Trail Facebook page. Just send them a like and join that group and talk to thousands of kayak anglers from all over the state and all over the Midwest in that group. Great group of guys. Like we talked about the camaraderie that we have with our group. Michigan Kayak Trail is what started it all for us. Kyle and I had participated with MKT for a couple years, and which spurred us on because that's some elite competition. And we wanted to expand on that on a weeknight type series where we get together with a little bit less pressure and less pressure to compete, as a lot of us were still new to the sport and still learning, and added those weeknight series. So with Topwater series, how that was formed, we wanted to get together and just keep fishing in our kayaks on different bodies of water, testing new baits and lures out in a low pressure environment. And we decided to put it on a Tuesday night. Just instead of going bowling, we'd rather go fishing. You know, so we started the league type division series, and that gives anglers that are new to the sport or experienced to come out from 6 to 9 p.m. on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. We've grown substantially over the last couple years. Last year we started with 12 events and ended up finishing with around 23 events because we just kept adding more events because we didn't want to stop. And then going into the 2020 season, we have over 80 events on our schedule. That includes the youth series. We have a league series that has 4 separate divisions. The Tri-Cities, the Huron division, which is our Southeast Michigan, the Roots division, which is this area, Grand Rapids and farther south, and then our Lakeshore division, which is the Northwest region of Michigan. Those are all weeknight events. Okay. Tuesday or Wednesday nights from 6 to 9, you can come out, compete, probably have around 30 to 50 guys at these events, or anglers from this event. We have a lot of lady anglers join us too. Low entry fee, low pressure. We have some awesome sponsor donated prizes to go home. What's cool about it is, the best part about it to me is we're 101% payout. So we collect no fees. It all goes back to the anglers at the end of the night, which I think is fantastic. Mr. Kurt's on. All right, so we'll stop here. Okay. We want to take this call with Mr. Kurt Smits, the one and only Kurt Smits. We're going to bring him on. He's currently live down in Alabama at the moment, so we didn't want to make him wait. Hello, Mr. Smits. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain, man. Can't complain. It was a nice day outside today and not raining. So
yeah, not raining.
Y'all like that.
Did you have the opportunity to go out and get some pre-fishing done today?
Yeah. I got done here actually Sunday and started pre-fishing on Sunday. So
awesome.
I've had a couple days under my belt.
Well, let me introduce you to all the viewers watching at home. We have not only the Topwater viewers watching tonight, but the Teachin Fishing viewers watching tonight as well. Mr. Kurt Smits from Ohio, Team Hobie, also the 2017 KBF National Champion, joining us here. And we've been leading up to the 2020 KBF National Championship for a couple weeks on these episodes because we're all so geeked out to get down there and compete in it. So we were thrilled to have you join us tonight as someone of your stature, and maybe give us a little bit of guidance on what we should expect heading down to our first NC. For a lot of us, we're all first timers. So coming from someone that won the whole show just a few years ago, what kind of things can we expect heading down to the NC? Put you on the spot here.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of on the spot. I mean, the NC is a totally different type of event. You know, it is like, it's the biggest kayak fishing tournament around, period. I mean, you know, there's going to be, almost 700 people there coming up.
I think we're like at 630, something like that right now, and still have 5 weeks to go.
Yeah, so I imagine a few more people sign up. So, you know, that's a lot of people, and that's what makes this event so different than all the rest, is that there's just so many people at it. And that's what makes it a special event, that you're getting people from literally all over the country. I mean, I see so many people that I only see once a year, and that's really at the national championship, because they just live so far away that we just don't cross paths any other time.
Absolutely. I know here in just the state of Michigan, I think we have 68 anglers headed down there in a couple weeks. And for a large majority of us, it's first time competing in a national championship type tournament, and we're totally geeked out and ready and excited to get down there. And I know you yourself competing on the Pro Series, both Hobie and you're down at Logan Martin right now for the inaugural kickoff with Bass, and you did pretty well for yourself just a couple weeks ago at the first Hobie event.
Yeah, I squeaked out a third place, man. It was really pretty exciting for the Hobie event because, the top 3 guys get to go to the TOC. And so to make the top 3 is, that was a big goal of mine this year, was to go to the TOC. I didn't make it last year, and that really kind of burned me a little bit. So I was really pushing hard for it in the first event. To make the first event, it was really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Right out of the gate to make top 3, that's phenomenal. And punch your ticket to the Tournament of Champions coming up here at the end of the year. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I
Now,
mean, it's
as far as your schedule goes, I know that you started out there with Hobie at that event, and now you're down at Logan Martin getting ready for the Bass event. What's your schedule look like moving forward? Is it going to be mostly the Pro Series, or are you sprinkling in some other events along the way?
Yeah, I'm definitely doing a lot of the pro events, or I mean, if you call it that. I mean, there's not really a pro division, but
sure.
But I'm sprinkling other events into. I got some of my local trails, the Cincinnati Kayak Fishing Trail. I'll be doing most of those, if not all those. I'll also be doing some of the Buckeye kayak fishing stuff. I'll probably do some of the Michigan series, a few of those. I really love St. Clair. I mean, that's a big.
Absolutely.
Who's not a fan of St. Clair?
We were just talking about that. Yeah, the Cincinnati group, those guys run a phenomenal tournament series down there. We've heard the name brought up many times, and so you're able to fish most of those guys' series down there in Cincinnati. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually help out with them a little bit. I mean, Brian Tacey at Strictly Sail, he's the guy who does all the heavy lifting, but I help him out a little bit with it and organizing it and stuff. So, and it's just a really fun local series. I mean, and let's face it, that's what this is all about, right? Is to have a good time and to connect with people. And that's a great way for me to meet new people too, locally that I don't know yet.
Absolutely.
That are kayakers.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game. Just meet new people, have a good time, that angler camaraderie. We've brought that up a couple times just tonight, but that's the name of the game.
Yeah, yeah. And we have like grill outs afterwards and stuff. So it's a social event.
I love it. Now, we brought up you being down at Logan Martin right now. Now, I'm not going to ask you about what you're going to be using or anything like that as we head into this pretty phenomenal inaugural event down there. I think there's 230 plus anglers signed up for this bad boy, and immediately following that, you've got the Bassmaster Classic down there too. So, I mean, that just sounds like a phenomenal place to be right now. What are people talking about down there? For us viewers watching at home that couldn't make that trip down there, what's the excitement like and the build up to this as this tournament gets ready to kick off?
Man, it's really wild because there's a lot of people down here, but everyone is really focused on pre-fishing,
Mm-hmm.
And the people I'm seeing on the water, they're just, it's a little different, man. I just feel like it's just a little different attitude with the people. I think everyone's just taking it a little bit more seriously, and because it's arguably the biggest stage we've ever had as kayakers.
Sure.
And the top 10 are walking across the stage at the Bassmaster Classic. That's huge. It's
a phenomenal setup, the way that they have set up this tournament and to be able to align it with that classic, the next day. So I think that's an amazing job that Bass has done, coordinating these events together down there.
Yeah. They've, and some of the guys that are involved with it from the kayak side, like Steve Owens is the first guy who comes to my mind, and he's got a whole team of guys, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but he's the guy he's my connection with them down there. And, they're just doing a phenomenal job. All of them, I don't know all their names off the top of my head right at the moment. It's been a long day on the water for me, but, those guys, I just want to say thanks to those guys for making it happen, because without those guys working with Bass to make this what it is, we wouldn't have this opportunity.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, Steve's been, I mean, even just aside from the nationwide stuff, he's actually been working a lot with like the local trails. When we were looking at doing one with Michigan or Michigan Bass Nation, he was kind of the guy advising us on that. So I know he's involved in helping out a bunch.
Yeah, Steve's a little bit everywhere. And Steve, for those of you that don't know Steve Owens, he's also got that Christian background too, where he's offering up that type of advice as well. So he's just kind of all over the place and a wealth of knowledge, and he's always super helpful. So check him out on Facebook as well. He runs a phenomenal operation with everything he's got his hands into. So I'm glad you brought up his name. And with Steve, also a Tennessee guy, I just want to say a quick thoughts and prayers out to everybody down in the Nashville area that the storms affected. We got a lot of people, headed down south that are already down there. Logan Martin's just a couple hours south of Nashville by about 3 hours. So we know we've got a lot of anglers from all over the country heading to that neck of the woods. So everybody be safe, and our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody down in the Nashville area right now.
Absolutely. It was heartbreaking to hear that in the morning when I woke up.
Yeah, I bet. I can't imagine, especially, being down there close to it, and everybody's displaced from their home right now, trying to concentrate on kayak fishing, and you hear something like that in the morning. So hopefully you guys can, get your folks back and prepare for this big show.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most out of this Logan Martin event? Obviously, to walk up across that stage would be fantastic for you, and we're rooting for you. But are there certain things? Have you ever fished that area before? Certain things you'd like to accomplish while you're down there?
I've never fished down here before, so this is an all new lake to me. I didn't grow up fishing like a lot of people did, like with their dads and traveling with them when they were younger. So I've only been, in my adult life fishing and stuff. So a lot of these lakes are all new to me. So this is another new lake for me, which is nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, I'm pretty used to it now. You get there and you start breaking it down, and you start doing different techniques to figure out where the fish are and try to find those patterns. The big accomplishment I want to do is just get a limit right now.
Find the limit.
Yeah, find a limit. I've pre-fishing has gone good and bad, so it's, I just don't know exactly what to expect come tournament day.
Sure. Can you describe to everybody watching at home that's following this major kayak tournament a little bit about the conditions down there, like water clarity and that kind of stuff, just so we have a better idea of what's going on with you guys on the ground down there?
Yeah, so the main lake is pretty clear right now. I think the water temp was right around 53 or 54 degrees today on the main lake. You got about a foot of really good visibility and about a foot and a half that you can make out like a yellow lure or so. So it's not horrible. It's not great clarity, but it's not horrible clarity. And it hasn't really changed much where I've been fishing with the rain that we've had. It got a little stained in the back of a couple of the creeks, but the other places I've checked more on the main lake have been not really affected by the rain yet.
Sure.
Now we're supposed to get a whole bunch more rain tonight, and the weather conditions have been changing a lot. So, early, Sunday it was cold and rainy. Monday was cold and rainy. Today was nice and warm, and the sun actually popped out for a little bit. And that really, some of these guys in the house found 60-degree water.
Nice.
So that's huge,
yeah,
right?
That's a huge difference for sure.
Yeah. But now tonight it's going to be cold, and we're going to have rain all day tomorrow with a high of 55. So, those fish are moving, I think.
Constantly
a lot.
changing.
Yeah.
That's going to make you guys work for it. Now,
I think so.
For everybody watching at home, and again, I keep saying that because we've got our Teachin Fishin viewers watching us tonight that may be totally new to the kayak tournament type sport. When does the Logan Martin tournament actually kick off? When is lines in time for you guys?
Lines ends at 6 a.m. Central Time.
6 a.m.
And we can launch. Yeah. Yep. So that's when you can start watching like Tourney X, and you'll start seeing the fireworks happen. It'll be right around 6 a.m.
And when does tournament end?
Gosh, you're asking me all these questions, and I haven't even put them in my phone yet. I think it's
That's okay.
2:45. I honestly don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. I read it, but that was one of the things that I do like tomorrow night as like my ritual is right
Sure.
after the captain's meeting. I put all these times in my phone and put them on alarms.
Yeah, no problem.
Stuff.
Hate to put you on the spot there. The fisherman in me wants to ask you, so what'd you have on your line today and where'd you go? I'm trying to stay away from those questions. So we've got a tremendous amount of people here in the studio with us tonight watching this interview live, and I'm curious if any of you guys have any questions about Logan Martin.
Actually, when I'm
Sure.
on Logan Martin, my question is, Kurt, being someone who fishes out of a boat, now you're in a kayak, so your mobility is a little bit obviously more limited than being in a boat with an engine in it. When you start to look at a body of water for pre-fishing, do you start with areas of the lake that have lots of different options and then kind of figure out what the best option is and then zero in on very specific locations from that? Or do you start with very specific locations and move on from there?
Well, it depends. A lot of times I do exactly what you said in the first, is that I pick an area that has a lot of diverse terrain to it. So when I get there, I can try to see, are they on wood? Are they in deep water? Are they on flats? Are they on points? Are they in a creek? So if I can find something where there's like a creek nearby that I can run up off the main lake and then have several different things on the main lake, yeah, I'll try to do that. We are limited in kayaks versus motorboats, and definitely we can't run 30 miles. But I'll tell you, today we probably, Matt. I was with Matt Ball today, and he figured it up, and it was about 20 miles that we covered today.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, I mean we were using our torpedoes, and just running and looking and just trying to find that pattern. Which is a great advantage of having the torpedo, is that you can run those type of distances. I don't think I could pedal 20 miles.
Oh no, that's a day's work.
Yeah, I'd be dead. But yeah, to answer your question, that's normally what I do when I go to an all new body of water. Now, if I have some experience in that body of water, I'll go to more specific locations that I feel that are more promising.
So once you kind of you fish a diverse location, you kind of figure one or two types of structure that or areas that are in that general spot. Do you then start focusing on smaller areas that key in more on more of that key stuff that you found? Is that kind of how you work through the process?
Yep, exactly. Once I establish a pattern, then I'll go back that night and I'll look at Navionics a bunch and try to find more and more of it, and try to find a place that has a ton of it, and go there. Or maybe a place that has some, it just depends what kind of structure it is too, right? I mean, if you're looking for flooded timber, you look for a ton of it. But if you're looking for big isolated points or something, you don't want a ton of them around because you want big isolated points, know? So it just depends on the structure. But yeah, you start looking for them and keying in on those. Okay. And try to find the ramps that are close by to them too. So you're not
That's definitely key.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions for Kurt? I don't want to keep him on too long. I'd love to talk to him all night, but I know he's got more prep to do before a major tournament. So if anybody has any questions, I'd love to ask.
I've got a couple quick questions. So Kurt, I'm wondering, Brian down there at Strictly Sail, does he actually come out and fish with you guys? Because every time I see anything to do with him, he's in a sailboat.
Yeah, he does hit some of the tournaments with us for sure. I mean, he's not down at this one, but he does. He'll probably be at like Kentucky Lake for the Hobie Bass Open down there.
I feel like we need to get something going between like one of the Hobie dealers up here and you guys down there. Like, be something fun. Meet in the middle for some type of face-off or something like that.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
And then my second question is, so I was on your website earlier today, and I go around and I start reading some information. I click on the About Us section or About Me. Why in the world does it not say that you won the 2017 National Championship?
Which website is this exactly?
I don't know. It's got your name on it.
Uh-oh.
It talks about Strictly Sail and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know, man. Honestly, sometimes I leave that out by accident.
No big deal.
I would be like telling everybody that, and they wouldn't even know that I fished or who I was, but I'd be walking around telling everybody that.
I will take a look at that though, man, and make that correction here
Right.
shortly.
I was just curious.
Yeah, that's a big title to leave off there for sure. And now you have many accomplishments. Like we said, we just came in third at Seminole, which is that's a huge deal too. Hobie runs a phenomenal tournament, and place top 3 on a tournament scale like that when you're traveling, that many miles to go compete, different style of fishing, different bodies of water, things like that, those are big accomplishments. And, a big reason why we wanted to get you on the episode tonight and just talk to you for a couple minutes. A lot of us newcomers to the kayak angling sport look up to guys like you, and it's nice just to pick your brain for a couple minutes. And thank you very much for jumping on the episode with us tonight. And I know, like I said, you've got a lot to do, and we scheduled this interview weeks and weeks and weeks ago. As Logan Martin, I don't even know if that was a thing yet or not. So
I don't think it was when we scheduled this.
Right. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. I'm sure you've got stuff to do, and just wanted to say thank you very much again for taking a couple minutes and jumping on here with us and letting us pick your brain.
Great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good luck, Kurt. Go get him, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck,
Thanks,
Kurt. Well, that was cool. I felt bad. I messaged him the other day, and it's like, are we still good for Tuesday night? Because I knew that he had went down there when we originally scheduled this. It was, maybe back in like December time or something, planning out our schedule. And I don't think Logan Martin was even a thing when we first set this up. So I was happy that he could still make it on with us tonight. But I know he's got a million things going on down there prepping for this major tournament. So I'm excited to watch those guys at Logan Martin. Does anybody else watch the live leaderboard whenever these guys are fishing out of state like that?
No, I'm too jealous.
Too jealous?
Too jealous.
Fish envy.
I'm working.
Usually I'm working and I'm just like, I just want to fish.
Even when you're working, I check out those leaderboards when they're down there because I'm jealous too. I want to be there with them so bad. These guys that are fishing down in Florida and Tennessee and Alabama and stuff like that this time of year. We're up here in the cold and the rain.
In the wannabe hard water state.
Oh, I'm ready to get down there.
Next weekend might open up.
Yeah, nice weather all week.
On Sunday.
I hope it opens up.
Yeah.
I haven't done any ice fishing whatsoever, so
Set a fire in the middle of the lake.
burn a hole open.
Yeah.
25 kayaks in one.
Yeah, 25 kayaks and
one of them rubber duck races at the fair.
It's like a shanty town.
yeah, just like a shanty town, but everybody's there
Just everybody's in a
out there in that
kayak.
open pocket.
Every vertical fish.
I love it. All right, so I'm glad Kurt was able to join us tonight, and we have a couple other guests here tonight with us that made the trip over.
Before we jump into that, so I got a message. He posted it up, and then it took me a couple minutes to get everything figured out. But so I guess Bogdan was following Kurt around today and doing some photography and stuff like that, and he got this pretty sweet shot that he sent me. So we're gonna pull that up if we could. Oh, hold on, I gotta fix things.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So he sent that shot over, so we thought it was pretty sweet. So figured we'd pull that up and show it real quick.
Ah, thanks, Bogdan. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool what he's doing. So he's kind of...
So in order to get Bogdan to follow us around, we have to reach like Kurt type stature.
Or Bogdan type stature.
Win a national, win a national championship, and then I can have some of those cool professional picks like that.
For the right price, he'd follow you. Just throw up some of that money. And
yeah, if you guys follow Bogdan, he's doing a phenomenal job with his photography work, and so I'm happy to have him come out to any event and snap some shots. That'd be amazing.
You just don't want to fish against him.
He's doing a great job.
I'd like to bring my camera out and do some photography too. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it's great to get action shots of different things. We used to do it with the RC cars, and you get like the fish coming out. That's my big thing this year. Is I really want to get a topwater frog bite with a bass coming out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
So cool.
So we actually got another one here really quick that he sent, and sorry Bogdan, this isn't going to become the Bogdan show, but I do love these, so I got to show. So this is actually Andy Bitely, who's one of our local anglers. So
yeah, absolutely.
He fishes MKT, and I thought he was cool until I realized he's down there and I'm not, but another sweet shot. So.
Sorry, Andy. No, that's awesome. Those are phenomenal photographs. So great job, Bogdan. Thanks for sending those in, bud.
So before we move on, I figured we did that drawing. Do we want to announce our giveaway winners from the drawing that we did before the break?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, so from the Topwater side, I have a Mr. Corey Brown.
All right, Corey Brown.
Corey,
very cool. You know Mr. Brown?
I know. Corey and his dad used to come to our seminars up here, actually at the Flint Gainer Mountain.
Awesome.
And Corey actually took a job with Cabela's in Kearney, Nebraska, and he's still down there. So
very cool.
I'm not working with Cabela's anymore, but yeah, he's been a big part of what we do for a long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good for
Congratulations, Corey.
Yeah,
thanks
good.
for tuning in
Thanks,
tonight,
Corey.
and congratulations on the win. And we'll collect your information and get those sent out to you.
Yeah, just a reminder, jump over Topwater page, send us the message. You can message the page directly, send us address and information, and we'll get those out to you. And then over from the Teachin Fishin side, we have Mr. Mark Somerville.
Mark Somerville. Awesome, Mark. Thank you very much.
Yep, so congrats, Mark. Jump over and jump over to the Topwater page. Just send us a message with your address, and we'll get that pack out to you.
That's awesome. I appreciate the likes, guys. Thank you very much for doing that, and going to help spread some more education amongst everybody. So appreciate you guys doing that. Congrats.
All right, so take it away.
All right. At this time, I'd like to introduce Pat and Jen DeGeis from Fenton, Michigan. Thank you guys very much for making the trip over with me tonight. And I wanted to get you guys on the show for a long time now. One reason in particular is this super cool hoodie that somebody made for me.
That's her.
That was you?
She does the shirts.
Awesome.
Can you get that?
What's that?
Where can you get that?
Talk to that lady right there.
You got to kind of work with.
You gotta hang out with us on the.
You got to know people.
On the east side.
What's on the east side?
You got to know people.
I don't know people.
You got to know people in Fenton.
There's no place to buy that yet on the merch part on the website.
Just bring your own water.
Yeah, we
Coming soon.
Gotta link up on the merch.
Coming soon. Kyle is also sporting a pretty fancy performance shirt tonight too. If we could get that shot. There we go.
And I got a sweet mug.
I love it.
You do have a sweet mug, Kyle.
Face and coffee cup.
But I'm
And coffee cup.
Kevin got it.
Wait,
Gonna
I
stay
think
on
I
the
got, somewhere I got a sound effect for that.
Uh-oh. There it is. There it is.
Look at us.
But let's reel it back in. So I wanted to invite you guys to come out. One, because you're MKT and topwater kayak anglers, and you fish.
We try.
we try.
We come out.
We float around. We do that well.
I'm right there with you. I do a lot of just floating around. But you guys do a fantastic job. And I think it's cool, one, because you're a husband and wife team. And I think that's amazing. And I'd like to see more of that. Husbands getting the wives out on the water fishing with them.
Or the wives getting the husbands out.
Yeah, or the wives getting the husbands out. You know, we talked about that a couple weeks ago on our Ladies Night episode, and one of the big things that we talked about was that intimidation factor for the ladies, being intimidated, breaking into a more male-dominated. And to see couples like you guys out on the water, I think that's really refreshing. And
it's
I think
tons of fun.
Yeah,
it's tons of fun. So we razz each other all the time. We play games. We would challenge each other. We have a game called Snag, and we go on the rivers. And if you have to pull your lure out of the tree, it's -1 point. You get 1 point for any fish you catch. Doesn't matter the length or the type. And then one point minus if you get a snag.
How's that go for you?
I can't get above -5.
But you're fishing where the fish are. You're not in the snags.
I get a lot of fish.
There you
I
go.
get up and then I get several snags. And he's like, "What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "Nothing."
That's awesome.
I'll be around the next bend going, snag.
That's awesome. And you guys kayak fish as a family. You even have your son out there kayak fishing with you too. And I think that's amazing. And again, we've talked about it multiple times tonight, getting more people out on the water. And you guys have introduced him to kayaking and kayak fishing and at a young age, and that's something that he's going to be able to build off of for a long, long time.
Right.
So
Well, he's got the bait caster down. He can do that at 7 years old. So
I know grown men that can't do that.
We do too.
It's just as long as the fish are biting. When they're not biting and it becomes complicated, that he's not. But I think you'll probably see him on the youth trail at some point as he grows.
That's fantastic.
So we appreciate you offering things like that for him.
No problem. That's why we're here. We wanted to set up that type of format to get kids like him out there and be able to fish and just enjoy themselves in that type of atmosphere with other kids that enjoy fishing. So in a safe atmosphere and low pressure, and go home with a bunch of cool prizes and some new education. So,
right.
But I wanted to highlight Blue Fox Gifts. We mentioned the T-shirts and the hoodie and the performance shirt and the mug and Blue Fox Gifts. Tell us a little bit about Blue Fox Gifts and where these awesome apparel came from.
So Pat started out when our son was born, and he kind of was home and he was working through college, and he kind of wanted something else to do. So we started with sublimation, which is basically specialized ink that uses a high heat and pressure system to adhere things to to adhere images to a surface. So like the camp mug, Kyle's mug, and things like that are all done with sublimation. And then we started building on that, and the company kept growing, kind of took off. And then now we've added even a direct-to-garment printer, which is kind of a specialized printer. It's basically like an inkjet printer, but made specially for apparel. And so we can print full color images, full pictures, things like that. And what we do is we specialize in small companies. So we don't have, like screen printers will have screen setups, they'll have design setups, they'll have a bunch of extra cost. And sometimes when you only need 5 shirts, a couple mugs, something like that, you certainly don't want to pay a $35 setup fee on top of everything else. So that's where we specialize in. So, you know, people who have bait companies, people who are YouTubers, bloggers, things like that, that have just a small thing they might want to just showcase themselves, we can help them do that by printing their logos, their designs on different types of items, including, you know, signs, mugs, t-shirts, things like that. We're also working on adding hats this year, so we'll be able to do full color, even like bill hats and things like that.
That's awesome. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, and you just said it, is specializing in the smaller companies. As the sport of kayak fishing, and you guys can do it for any company, but since we're talking about kayaks and fishing tonight, a lot of these kayak fisher persons, anglers. I'm trying to cover both sexes. As this sport keeps getting more and more popular, and you see a lot more of the YouTube videos and people trying to specialize in their own customized gear, and you know, the matching hat, the matching hoodie to match their kayak, and all that jazz. You guys can really help anglers like that are looking for that kind of, you know, custom apparel, but they don't need 100 t-shirts, you know?
Right.
They need the hoodie and the performance shirt and the t-shirt to represent themselves or their clubs. We've got a lot of kayak clubs and fishing clubs in the area that aren't looking for that large bulk order. They're looking for the one-off specialized
the
type
on-demand
ordering.
print.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call us up, you need one, not a problem.
And that's what's nice too, is that we save your stuff in a folder, and we keep it so in the event, like say, hey, you know, half a year down the road, you want to get some more, you have another member join, you don't have to pay all those setup fees. We just pull it right up, print it for you, it's done, ready to go.
I think that's awesome. And you can tell from the printing, talk about the printing itself, because it's different than just what a screen printing would be. It's a lot brighter, a lot more noticeable. Talk about that for a minute, because that's something I noticed right away when you handed me the hoodie a couple weeks ago.
Right. As far as the look and feel of it, because we're not limited, like we have to burn a screen for this color or this color or that color, we can print full color. I mean, if you want a picture of Kyle on a shirt, not that you probably would.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Who the heck would want that?
That is not something anyone wants.
I almost had to stop myself. I'm trying to be more PG tonight.
I was thinking maybe a seat cushion. Put his face on a seat cushion.
But yeah, we could do it on a cushion. We could do it on a
What is with
pillow.
this guy? That's the second shot he's taken at me.
Kayak seat cushion with Kyle's face on. That sounds like a giveaway coming soon.
I'm muting this guy. I've had enough.
The shirt
Probably
should be
sound
the
like a
smallest
whoopee
fish
cushion.
award, and you have to wear it.
Oh, yes, yes.
Smallest fish award with Kyle's picture on it. I love it. A triple XL, wear it like a tank. That's a great idea, guys.
I like it. We're donating that.
But anyways,
Sorry, Kyle.
that's where we differ, is that we can do the full color. Like the picture on your shirt, that faded yellow to orange,
Bright,
you'd almost
colorful.
never be able to get that with a screen print.
No, not at all.
And the other thing is that because we don't have to build the ink up, it's always softer. Like when
Yeah,
you
you
first
don't
get
have all
it, you
those
can feel
layers.
it a little bit, but then you wash it a few times, and I mean, the hand is virtually not there.
Yeah.
Even with a full color image.
Oh, I love it.
You want
and just not the clothing apparel too, but like we mentioned Kyle's mug, and you guys brought us some awesome gifts, like the mouse pads and the camping mug and the actual coffee mug. Like the clarity of the logo on these is phenomenal. You know, I've ordered products from other companies, promotional stuff in my business travels and stuff too. It never comes out this nice. You know,
Well,
you guys do a fantastic
We're a small
job.
company. We've got to be good at what we do. 'Cause
Absolutely.
trying to compete with, you know, Vistaprint and some of those other large companies is, I mean, we just don't have the pockets to do that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we have to separate ourselves by, you know, priding ourselves on our quality.
And that's, you know, that's a reflection of us. And we don't ever want to put, I mean, even if there's a little smudge on a product, we won't send it to you. We'll be like, nope, we're keeping that. And we'll remake you a new one. And we stand behind our products too. Like if you got a shirt or a mug, something happened to it, things like that. You know, we certainly work with our clients as far as, you know, replacing or repairing, especially if it was something that was an accident on our end. But we work tirelessly to make sure and we check over every item. And I mean, Pat, I can't even replicate his because he's been working on this so many years, and there's a pressure point to transferring the images, and he tweaks it so gently, and it always comes out flawless, you know, but he's constantly changing it and improving it.
I think that's awesome. You guys also, you dabble in logo design and stuff like that too.
Yeah, we did some
Graphics
stuff for like Zach Soulier. I kind of redid his
Yeah.
a little bit. We're working with Chris Blair with Lines in FabWorks, trying to get
Fantastic.
something going for him.
Yeah, we saw the logo that you redesigned with Zach. He was on the show a few weeks ago, and you had freshly designed that logo for him, and he was showing it off to us in here. And it was phenomenal. And working with Chris Blair, another Topwater sponsor, that's phenomenal, guys. Thank you very much for helping out the angling community. And
Well, we really appreciate the support, and like I said, we're working on creating more things like the performance shirts, ones with the sun hoods, things like that. And we're always looking for new products to try to add to kind of help out and, you know, help people brand themselves.
I think that's really cool because I know a lot of guys that, you know, I'll use you for an example. You've got a YouTube channel, you know, Fishing with Diesel, and guys like that, you know, they want to brand themselves. They're putting in the hard work, and then they're putting out a product, and you want to be noticed. And it makes it affordable for guys like that, the YouTubers and the, you know, the anglers that, you know, maybe want their name on the back of a shirt or a couple of sponsor logos and stuff like that on there, but can't go the full deal with, you know, purchasing jerseys and stuff like that. You guys make it an affordable avenue for them to get that kind of apparel and all the promotional gear to go with it for whatever their company may be.
Right, and I think that's nice about us too, is that we're a home studio-based thing, so we can keep costs a little bit lower for the quality that we provide.
That's awesome.
Is there materials you can't print on, or?
There are a few materials we can't print on.
As far as like these shirts go, a good knit cotton is what we need for it.
Okay.
When you start printing the white on the polyester, it disappears. I don't know where it goes. It goes somewhere. But when you start getting to the polyester, you know, something like the fishing shirt that Kyle has on, that's where we'd switch over to the sublimation.
Okay.
The limitations with that is that you do need like a light colored garment. And then if you start getting into some of the other colors, it does change the color of the item a little bit, but it's usually acceptable.
So do you guys offer like full sublimation jerseys, like the fishing jerseys, or?
Yeah, we don't have that.
Okay.
We don't have that ability. A lot of those are sublimated and then stitched
Stitched
together.
together, yes.
So we aren't at that point yet.
Okay.
But we're, you know, like you
I'm
said,
horrible with a needle.
That's awesome. Now, for everybody watching at home, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you guys? Go to the Facebook page, the Blue Fox Gifts, all one word.
Yeah, I believe it's, yeah, we can link it up later, but I'm pretty sure it's just Blue Fox Gifts.
Yeah, I'll post that on our on all the top water
Or
pages.
even through our website, which is bluefoxgifts.com, you can just go right to the contact, and that shoots me an email. And
Oh man, somebody put the web address on the screen. Give that guy a raise.
Good job, Grant.
Look at
It wasn't Grant.
So you are welcome at this seat anytime you want, because this is hilarious.
I'm back here making sure that the whole operation stays afloat. So I got everything under control. Thank you.
Somebody's got to be in charge,
So
Grant.
Grant's the captain now.
Grant's the captain. No, I love it. I wanted to get you guys on the show. You guys hooked us up with some apparel, you know, a long time ago, and I wear this hoodie probably twice a week now. It's my favorite hoodie, and I wanted to talk about what you guys do, because I think it's a great avenue for not only anglers, but that's who we surround ourselves with, but anybody in business or looking for promotional type product, the more one-off type stuff, which I thought was really cool, where it could save people a ton of money. And then just the application that you did it was amazing to me. It wasn't like the screen printed hoodies that I had before that it's thick
stiff
and scratchy, and you can like bend your hoodie in half with it, that kind of thing, with all the different collars on there.
Yeah, and we had thought about going with that, and we said, if I wouldn't wear it, then I'm not going to sell it to somebody else to wear it.
Yeah.
That's basically the policy. If we wouldn't use it or keep it in our house, we certainly wouldn't be giving it to you guys.
How's the durability of that printing versus screen printing?
Just as good, if not better. Because it doesn't have
Yeah, I
that
would
thick
think it'd be
feel,
better, yeah.
it doesn't crack apart.
Doesn't flake off and
but
crack.
usually, like, the standard for most shirts, I think, is between 40 and 50 washes for anything. And, I mean, I've got some shirts that I printed for myself years ago that, when we first got the printer, that it still looks like it was brand new.
Yeah, as long as you're taking care of the garments, and I mean, there's not really any special washing. Don't blast it on like the highest heat possible or things like that. I mean, you'll melt it. Don't take an iron to it and just. But in general, they're very.
Yeah.
She lost me.
Is that the dryer?
She doesn't.
Dryer or the
She
damn
barely,
cloth?
It is.
she barely knows what an iron
Really
is.
hot shower.
Yep, hang it there.
It's good to go.
I don't even have to do that anymore. I work from home. It's got a wrinkle.
That's
Oh,
okay.
well.
Only kids get to see it.
Just promise me you wear pants every day.
No. But there's no cameras, so
There you go.
we're good.
Now, besides Blue Fox Gifts, you also dabble in some videos and stuff like that. I've been sharing some videos that you've been putting
I
together.
try.
Tell
Still
us a
trying to
little
get
bit
used
about
to talking on the camera. That's been a big thing.
It's weird.
It's very
you guys
weird.
all
weird.
know. But I'm just trying to share some of my fishing experiences. Some of the times with her where I can actually show that she caught a fish.
Getting that.
Guess who's walking home?
Not me.
I drove,
I
so.
know, but you can't let him in the car.
But I'm just trying that out, trying to just share that experience. A lot of my family watches it and is curious about what I do. They're like, "Oh, you fish from a plastic boat?" It's like, well, yeah, that's what I do.
Sure.
And sometimes I catch things, sometimes I don't. I don't always take pictures, but a lot of times the camera's rolling, so I can always show that at least.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because we've hit on the educational factor, 30 times tonight, and the type of videos that you're producing are definitely helpful and educational. And where can people go view those videos at?
Blue Fox Outdoors, right on YouTube.
So we've got Blue Fox Gifts.
It's all one word.
And then Blue Fox Outdoors. Awesome.
Yeah,
Where'd the blue fox come from?
Oh, that was our son's favorite color with his favorite animal. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We don't have a graphic to display on the screen for Blue Fox Outdoors. That's Grant's fault, since apparently he's the one that did the other one. He must have screwed up doing that one.
I wasn't that memo didn't get to me. So.
Pretty sure I emailed that graphic over.
Come on, Grant.
Kyle lost it.
I'm sorry.
But we're hoping to do some self-improvements and show that in the videos. Hopefully, I'm working on learning to fly fish from a kayak. We're going to be at the Topwater series, so you'll see us both. We're hoping to both have cameras on our boat, so you'll see what both of us have been doing. Hopefully, not just floating around.
I think that's awesome. You would think after being in front of like 7, 8 cameras here on a weekly basis, I'd be a little more used to that. I have the hardest time doing a one-on-one like GoPro,
That's
YouTube.
completely different than being here.
Yeah.
It's so
this is
different,
easy,
right?
But like when I'm sitting at home and I have the camera up on my desk or I'm like out in my kayak like talking about it, it's just weird because I'm talking to that, and so I just got to get it in my head that I'm talking to people behind the camera, so I just gotta visualize people behind it, and that's the hardest thing for me, just starting out in my little YouTube channel, my little unboxing videos.
I'm real good at talking to myself.
That's true.
Always got to get that expert opinion.
Yeah, that expert opinion.
Talking to yourself's not that bad. It's when you start to answer yourself is when the trouble really starts.
Yeah, I usually confuse myself with my partner.
Said to myself, self.
So one of the questions I have, and I apologize if it was already answered or talked about, I can only kind of pay half attention back here because I'm fixing stuff that Grant breaks. What about flags, like custom flags? Is that something that you guys have done?
There you go.
Like
It's
from a
something
kayak?
that
Yeah, because I mean everybody's running kayak flags, so I was going
Yeah.
to get one. It makes sense, but I was trying to think about
That's
rather
kind
just
of a good idea.
yeah, rather than just a regular one. I'd rather have do something cool and custom kind of.
That is a good question because we looked at Christmas time. We were trying to buy like custom kayak flags instead of the orange Yak Attack flag.
Yeah.
We wanted like the state of Michigan flag and a U.S. flag and like a logoed flag on our kayak, and we couldn't find anybody that did anything
We
like
might
that.
be able to do that.
That's something I can probably look into. I know I can do like small, like those felt pennants and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stuff I can put graphics on, but I'd probably have to. There wouldn't be a product designed specifically for that, so I'd have to find something to kind of hobble together to make it work. But it's something I can definitely look into.
That's a really good question because we had a heck of a time trying to find those flags.
What about like a blank, just buy blank golf flags from a
You could do
supplier?
Yep,
then
as
you
long
could
as
do,
that's
like,
polyester,
custom, like
we can
logo
make it work.
flags.
Yeah.
Like have
Yeah.
if you're like have a Topwater logo on the back of your red flag.
Yeah.
That's on the back of your kayak sitting out the back of your pickup truck.
Yeah, we were very interested that a few months ago. Still definitely interested. So
Yeah.
let us know what you guys find out about that.
All right,
We can get
will
some
do.
orders rolling that way on that stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool.
The other
Yeah,
side.
Topwater on one side, MKT on the other. That'd be really cool.
Kyle's face on one side.
Grants on the other.
Kyle's face on one,
You're gonna
Grant's
try
on
to
the
get a
other.
flag burning going.
I love it.
Boss man intern.
with a line through it over top of it.
I'm happy you guys could make it out with us tonight. Again, thank you for the awesome apparel. I wear it all the time, and there were so many different connections with Blue Fox Gifts, with the apparel side because we saw the connection with the one-off type stuff that you could do. The growth of our angling community with everybody's trying to do something different, kind of brand themselves into their own angler type status, and fishing with Mr. Diesel. I'll keep bringing that one up because you're here and it's
I'm
awesome.
always here. It's
Cool
man.
videos and stuff, but it's hard for guys like that. If you want to create a Fishing with Diesel hoodie and stuff like that, you got to buy 25 of them, and it costs a ton in shipping and stuff. People like that, this is what it's made for, That's the clientele that you're going after, and I think in this kayak fishing community, I think there's a ton of us that they mesh so well together. And then again with the Blue Fox Outdoors, the videos and the educational type stuff that you're doing, that's what we're about. And we talk about that all the time. We've talked about it 30 times tonight. So everything you guys are doing meshes so well with what we're all doing as a large group here. And it was nice to get you guys in here and talk about a little bit what you do and understand the process a little bit better and what you can offer.
One of our viewers is asking about custom blankets.
That's a bit too big for us. That requires a really, really big printer and a really, really big pneumatic press, unfortunately. It would be cool.
Maybe in a few years.
Maybe in a few years.
Very cool.
Just keep
Thank
buying
you, though.
hoodies.
Right?
Keep buying hoodies.
So, besides the outfits that we are wearing tonight, you guys brought us some goodies that we can give away tonight. And we've got a Topwater t-shirt here. Same kind of process that what I'm wearing, what Kyle's wearing. Super bright collars.
Well, different process from what Kyle's wearing, but same as yours.
Okay. The performance shirt's a little bit different.
Yep.
That's the sub.
That's the sublimation.
Okay. All right.
Good chance I'm going to win that.
So we've got this t-shirt that we're going to give away tonight. And I don't want to, but
I
we're
know a
give
guy
away.
that can make you another one.
Well, I'm not going to show anybody the other one. I didn't pull it out of the box.
Just show the one that they're not going to get.
So I'll show all the different products that you brought for us tonight. So we're going to keep these and we're going to give these away for future episodes so we can preview them tonight. The all black hoodie. And again, the collars on the logo shows up so well on this. That's why I like them so much. The camping cup, really cool.
Oh, that's the other one.
That's the one with our logo on it.
That's the one with the
So
Blue
it's like
Fox
a vintage
Gifts
logo,
logo on
kind
there.
of fits the mug.
Yeah, I think camping goes so well with kayaking that to have a little camping mug on there with the logo on it, I think that's awesome.
It's good for drinks afterwards.
Yeah.
Drown your sorrows when you catch
Right.
it.
This one's my favorite.
Too small of a cup.
You just refill it more often.
Large sorrows.
It's bigger than a shot glass.
You had the 2-liter sorrow jug. There you go.
The growler.
That's
I thought that
that is
was
cool.
really cool with the little carabiner handle on there. Clip it to your jacket or your vest, whatever you've got on while you're camping. You clip it on your, fanny pack.
Kyle puts it on his fanny pack. I'm glad me and you were on the same page with that.
But it's a silver cup, and the logo still shows up so nicely on that. And I don't know any other printers that could pull that off for us. Because we've looked into, different promotional gear as we head into the, the Ultimate Fishing Show or the Ultimate Sports Show coming up in a couple weeks. And, we got some proofs and stuff, and I wasn't really happy with it. But what you guys pulled off, I think that's phenomenal. This one we're not giving away. That's Mike's cup now. But wanted to show off some of the stuff. There's some other gifts you guys do. The mouse pads.
Oh, the bass is upside down.
Upside down.
No upside down.
He's dead. He had a good run.
So again, we'll show off some of these products. Again, this is all different types of products that Blue Fox Gifts can provide for you guys. And it doesn't matter what business that you're in. Everybody needs promotional product, and everybody needs to, adorn your logo and wear some swag and represent whatever it may be. But again, I just thought it was a really good fit with the fishing community because everybody's trying to brand themselves. I see more new fishing YouTube videos popping up on a daily basis,
and we do custom text and stuff too. So if you want a shirt that specifically says something like to harass your friend or something like that,
the Kyle shirt.
Yeah, the Kyle shirt.
Right.
And,
like snag or
snag.
Yeah.
So,
this is my fanny pack or something like that for Kyle.
Kyle's fanny pack.
But or if you end up in the doghouse, there's a lot.
That's coming soon.
There's a lot of other gift items that we can make that are seasonal, like our ceramic Christmas ornaments, which a lot of people can't seem to figure out how to print them on both sides.
That's awesome.
And I've got that down.
I don't know why I keep getting this. Tom Mullins right now is making it water with Matt Elliott's bikini shirt.
He's got
picture.
I'm actually surprised he hasn't called right now and just like
that needs to be the
he probably
smallest
already
fish shirt.
messaged you.
Matt Elliott's bikini car wash shirt needs to be the smallest fish shirt.
Nope. No, it doesn't.
Last year
will
at all of the
just tell me it's
Topwater
done.
events, for the person that submitted the smallest fish, we gave away a horse's ass trophy, literally a half of a horse's butt on a trophy. I think that shirt needs to replace that trophy.
I vote no. I'm good with the trophy.
And you have to wear it
To the next event.
tournament.
Yeah, I love it. We'll try to get that in the works because I think that'd be awesome. For the Teachin Fishin viewers watching, I apologize because you have no idea what we're talking about. And
they probably don't want to know.
For the sake of our ongoing viewership, we're not going to post that picture. So we'll throw it up on our Facebook page after we're done, and you can check it out there. But we're not going to scare.
You don't want to watch the counter plummet.
about 6 months and you'll figure out
We're
what
not
it
going to
is.
scare anybody away.
We just had a bunch of people unlike the Facebook.
They're dropping like flies.
They're gone.
There's 6 people left.
All right, let's reel it back in.
All right, so we're going to do one giveaway for
We're
each
going to do
group?
2. Let's do 2 again.
Oh,
one for each group.
One for each group. All right.
One for each group. Not that one.
While we're waiting in responses, we have a couple last cast questions we can do. And then I'd like to go around and we always do the fishing fails. And so I think there's some people here that haven't thrown out their fishing fail yet. So
all right.
I would like to hear those.
Let's talk about eligibility. Again, we have Teachin Fishin viewers watching, and we have our regular Topwater live viewers watching. So let's go. What do you want to do? Who gets what?
Let's do the mugs. I know our guys.
Yeah,
Are
you got
big
some drinkers?
Big coffee drinkers.
Coffee.
Or whiskey.
Coffee drinkers.
All right.
all the coffee.
So for the Teachin Fishin guys, we're going to offer up the Topwater camping mug. Really cool mug. And for the Topwater live guys, we're going to throw out this t-shirt. So I need everybody to jump over to the Blue Fox Gifts, all one word Facebook page, give them a like, and then jump back over and let us know that that's done. And we're going to pick 2 winners, one from each group. And again, we'll get your information and get these sent out to you. So jump over Blue Fox Gifts, all one word, on their Facebook page. Give them a like. You should be able to jump on that community tab and broadcast all the different likes. I'm not Kurt Smits, but I'll take that honor.
Hopefully, so,
Grant's
it's gonna be a challenge if somebody.
So that's the
finds it.
website. If you can't find it, they've got the Facebook link right on the top of the website, so you can click there and get over to the Facebook page.
Oh, good, we do.
That makes it really simple.
And I can promise you, we will have some Teachin Fishin merch that comes from Blue Fox. This is
awesome.
I'm excited about working with you guys. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Isn't this thing?
I think that's
I've
amazing.
never seen
And
anything.
you were right with the colors, right?
like that.
Usually when you print on something metallic like that, the colors
It
just,
never
they're
shows
just
up,
very
right?
nasty.
I tried to get
So.
a tumbler with our logo on it, and they sent me a couple proofs, and the yellow and orange was completely washed out, and you couldn't make out what the kayaker was on the bottom.
This is awesome.
And I didn't order any of them because I was like, nah. And then seeing this right here, I was like, oh, that's perfect, because that's what I wanted was a silver mug, and with the logo on it, and that fits on there perfectly.
Plus, it's great to work with a family company, a local company.
With our local
people that are following their passion.
We appreciate it.
You are directly putting food on our table.
Exactly
when you
right.
give us money. Thank you.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
That's important.
You get to clothe our kid.
With printed material.
Yep.
I love it.
Wait a second. So, when like the team loses the Super Bowl and there's all the extra shirts, is that how your kids get dressed?
Kinda. If she messes one up,
Got a whole bunch of Atlanta Falcons and Super Bowl champions.
There's going to be a lot of Kyle Van Leuven championships.
He doesn't speak often, but when he does,
I feel like he needs to go home with something for that.
Very good.
There you go, sir.
You want a prize.
Winning comment.
It is deserved.
I love it. So we'll give those guys a chance to jump over to Blue Fox Gifts and jump on the Facebook page. Kyle put up their website with the Facebook link right on the top of that website. You can jump on, give them a like, and put some thought into it. Everybody, like you said, we talked a lot about angler apparel and what you could do with the one-off, but even going back to the holidays, with what you can do for double-sided printed ornaments, stuff like that. That's amazing. I have no idea how
We
you
have a
guys
lot
do
of people
stuff like
that have, like I said, custom text. They'll do like custom text shirts for something. We're even starting to add like bookmarks and things like that with those little pictures on it. Sometimes those are nice gifts for book lovers and things. So we have a lot of different variety.
That's perfect. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, making the trip back. I know we're not getting home till late tonight, all of us are not getting home till late tonight. And so thank you guys so much for doing that. And while we give the viewers a chance to get over and get those likes and repost, you've got some last cast questions for us?
I sure do.
All right, explain the rules. We got a large group here, and we got 3-4 people that have never played before. This includes the studio audience over
I'm
there.
not taking anything off.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right, so so pretty much I've got 3 topics, and you have a minute to answer it. And if you shout "last cast," you get the entire time to.
And no one else can say anything.
No one else can say anything. So it's like.
If you've got an answer, call out last cast. You get the rest of that allotted time, and no one else can speak.
Yep.
All right.
So we got some good ones, thanks to Sammy. So if you guys hate them, that's what? Oh, and Cody. Well, no. All right. First one is, which time of the year is the best time for open water bass fishing? Spring, summer, or fall?
Anything but summer.
Best time of the year for open water bass.
Yeah. What time do you like to be? Like, what's your favorite time?
I like that
I like the fall.
pre-spawn. I like the spring. I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
pre-spawn.
spring on that one.
Yeah.
I'm
Spring's
a
awesome, but the
fall
fall
guy.
is
Yeah.
I like fall.
I'm a fall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The beauty of fall is when you find fish, there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of fish in small places. They're not spread out. In springtime, they can be anywhere. And
The thing that stinks about springtime, though, is it lasts like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Especially here.
That's
Yeah.
the drawback.
It's true. We live in the wrong area.
Fall is definitely the.
Yeah, fall. That's a good
I
point.
go with fall. We still got 25 seconds.
20 seconds. Somebody
Way
can
more
say
aggressive in the
Fall.
fall.
We'll go with fall.
What about you guys back
They
there?
always be eating.
Spring or fall?
Spring. I'm good at finding big schools of fish. I like the fish scattered everywhere. Just truck wherever I want to go. See if I can find something.
KVD power fishing, right?
Exactly. With my fish finder.
That's a trigger word right there.
Trigger word.
All right. Second one. This one's it's a good one, okay? I don't want feelings to get hurt, so keep it clean.
Uh-oh.
Offended.
Talking to you, Mike.
Here we
Talking to me.
Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
which is the
geez.
best? Samoas, or Thin Mints?
Thin Mints.
Thin Mints.
Frozen Thin Mints.
Neither.
I'm a diabetic. I will kill myself with Thin Mints.
Thin Mints in the freezer for sure.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Now, if you would have said
Samoas,
something
for sure.
like
Nobody likes the Thin Mints.
If you
Or
would,
Thin Mints?
everybody
Or
likes
no,
Thin Mints.
Samoas. No one.
I like the coconut. That's a coffee dipping cookie for me.
Has anybody tried the new s'more one? What's up with that?
S'more ones aren't that good.
What?
Thin Mints.
I did not. My family did not like the s'more.
The only
Give them to me.
problem I have with Girl Scout cookies is in a box of Girl Scout cookies, there's only 2 servings.
Yeah, one row and then the next row.
I don't know where they get 32 servings from. There's 2 servings. There's 1 and there's 2. That's it.
I like, if you would have said tag-alongs as an option, that I could have had a debate with tag-alongs. With the chocolate-covered peanut butter. And,
Maybe next week.
Oh, next week.
No, man, Thin Mints all day long.
I brought in some
Anyone else is wrong.
tag-alongs last week that I was hoping to enjoy after the show. And after the show was over, there was no more tag-alongs.
It wasn't me.
And there was no more Samoas.
You tagged along.
And there was like 4 Thin Mints. Somebody killed the Girl Scout cookies.
There's a lot of beer on this table last week, and then there's pizza, and it's gone.
Yep.
All right.
What else you got for us?
Third one, YouTube videos. Is it worth to join the masses or just focus on the fishing?
What do you mean? Making your own or watching everybody else's videos?
Is it worth to try and make your own YouTube videos?
No.
People to enjoy.
I'll last cast it.
Go ahead, Diesel.
Because I just feel like the way you're going to make YouTube videos is you have to make a YouTube video for yourself. You have to enjoy what you're doing. And that making stuff for the masses, just pulling out content after content after content, it's doing it the wrong way. It's just you want to grow something gradually and do something you enjoy to do. And if you putting out content that you enjoy, people are going to come to it and watch it because you like to watch it. It's not like I'm going to make this clickbait video about, what was the big topic last week? Something about, is kayak angling dead? Like just random clickbait videos. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of headline posts, but it's not going to be, it's going to be quick content. Like it's nothing that's going to have that staying power. If you want to make a YouTube video, you have to do something you love, put your heart into it, and then people are going to come to it.
Perfect answer.
10 more seconds.
Do it for the
The
right
one that
reasons.
gets me, the clickbait gets me every time, is new PB. Click on it, on the catfish. It's like, it's not what I wanted to watch.
No, that was a good answer. And I see your point on that too. I think for the self-YouTubers at home, you either have 2 directions. You're either going to do something that's completely specific for you and what you're passionate about, and that's going to make good content, or you need to produce so much different type of content to reach masses that you may lose that passion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good answer. I like that.
All right, so before we do our giveaways, one of the things we do on the show is we ask people their worst fishing fail. So it just gives you a chance to have the floor and just talk about something that happened to you. Now, obviously, any of our guests, their first time tonight, but I don't think, was Pyatt here when we went through this?
No.
I don't think he has shared
has
his
to
worst
answer
fishing
tonight.
fail
Worst
either.
fishing fail.
So
This can be any type of fishing.
Any type of fishing, just your worst fishing fail. We've had some pretty good ones. So, Patrick, I think we're going to start with you. Are you ready?
I guess so.
You are now.
Probably say my first ever fishing tournament, which happened to be a river tournament. And it was for the Red Fox tournament. And I'd never had to put a fish on a measuring board before. I just started fishing for fish. I knew how to use a Texas rig. That was it. And that was one constant snag. I couldn't keep the fish on the board. I finally caught a fish. It flopped off the board. And I think I invented more cuss words that day than a sailor has in their whole lifetime. She was just over there cringing.
Oh, I was like, I'm just going to be over here. I was like, should we not? He's like, I never want to see another river again. These smallies are stupid, and I am done with this.
That's how I feel every time I try to catch them.
And then he mulled on it for a while, and he said, I'm going to go back out there. And now you can't keep them off the rivers.
Yeah, I've gotten past that, and now the rivers are, I feel at home.
Nice.
Rivers are where it's at.
Rivers are not my thing yet.
I'd say my worst one ever. I had a Stratus bass boat. We were fishing a night tournament, and it got to like 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. We had a really good bag. We would not park at the boat ramp that we were weighing in at because a lot of cars got broken into there. So we'd park down the road, the safer boat launch. I was letting my buddy off at the dock. And he goes to get off, and I went to back up, and he kicked all his rods off into the water. So boat's in reverse. I jump up to grab the rods and back the boat straight into a houseboat.
Oh, dang.
No.
Didn't hurt the houseboat. My cowl on the back of my motor, the fiberglass was pushed. It went like this and just split it perfect right in half. That's probably my worst ever. And I got his rods back the next day with a deep diving crankbait, all of them. The next day I come back and I'm like, I'm going to keep throwing this until I catch at least one. They were all tangled together. I pulled them all up at once.
Oh, nice.
That's
a good save.
Right.
I should have capped them.
I got some new rods.
What about you, Jen?
Oh man, I mean, I don't think that anything that I've ever done. I mean, we're brand new to fishing, so I mean, if I don't catch fish or I only catch some small fish, I don't really consider that like a big failure. I guess one of the most exciting moments, it was kind of like a fail because it was new to me. I've kayaked before, but we went out late at night on Lobdell and we were fishing around the docks. And I'm fishing a jitterbug, you know, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool. It's like plopping along. And I was all excited. And then there's this huge splash and something just drags my rod almost out of my hand. And my kayak, like I'm not used to paddling at the same time as really, so I'm like trying to reel a fish, trying to do this. And I end up under this person's dock, like all the way under. I've got this big fish just like fleeping around, like soaking wet. And Pat, I'm like screaming. Pat's like, what are you doing under there?
She's got her feet up. It's a sit-inside kayak. Her feet are up on the dock. Rod's underneath the dock. She's trying to pull herself out. So I'm like, what are you doing?
How did that happen?
Snag. I pull her out, net the fish for her, and it was like almost a 21-inch largemouth bass.
That's awesome.
And we were like, oh, this is a good fish. Now we know. They're like, oh, it was a really good fish. But at the time, you know, it was just that very awkward moment of learning, the capabilities of the fish in a kayak. I mean, we've been drugged by river wolves and stuff like that all the way upstream current by catfish, and it's amazing how much you have to be aware of yourself now and say, hey, I need to realize that tree is ahead of me because if this bass goes, you know, he's going to drag me right in there.
Absolutely. Great point. That's a pretty good fail.
Yeah.
Now I fish Lobdell all the time. That's my home lake.
Yeah.
Where did you find this 21-inch?
In the water.
By a dock.
I mean a dock?
By a dock.
Boat.
The dock and the boat, right?
You gotta get under the dock first.
Yeah, you got to get under the dock.
So before we go over to Lance, Mr. Van Dusen's in the audience tonight. I think we have a camera that can kind of see him, and we got a mic that can hear him.
There we go.
I want to hear your biggest fishing fail. You're on the spot.
Showing up for Topwater Live tonight.
Should we go to Lance and come back to you?
No, put him on the spot.
I guess the first one that comes to mind is a great story. I was on to do like an online tournament. I went to a little lagoon off of Muskegon Lake, and I was just slaying. It was just ripping them out of bushes. It was so much fun. And I had like 87 inches. I'm getting ready. You know, I got my last fish in. I was going to upload it to the site, and I went, boom. Dropped my phone in the water.
Oh. Yep. That's a good one.
That's a sad one.
Whoops.
What about you, Heath?
Me?
Biggest fishing fail?
Kayak fishing wise, would have to say.
Any fishing.
Well, the most recent I could think of would be.
Let me pull out my book.
All right, 1 minute, go.
State champion. The state championship last year. So I pre-fished like all of Elk Lake like 3-4 days prior.
Sure.
Found a bunch of great fish, and of course, like half the other friggin' tournaments we had last year, wind ended up blowing like 20-25 or whatever, just totally ruined the spots I pre-fished. So I ended up finding on the north end of the lake, big giant sandbar point that kind of came out in the middle. Random chance, found a good school of fish. First fish I caught was like a 17-incher, measured it just fine. Second one was a 19 that I tried 5 different times to get a picture of and never got the picture and finally flopped over the boat. So then I got so pissed off about it, I kind of slammed my hog trough under my seat and then ended up kicking very lightly the backboard. It snapped. When I caught the next fish like 3 minutes later, tried measuring that one and it snapped off, so then I couldn't actually
20
measure
seconds.
the fish. Spent like half the day catching about 9 or 10 fish that I never once got a measurement or a picture of any one except for the very first one.
Dang, man.
So yeah, that was kind of a heartbreaking day.
I remember that whole experience.
And then we had that like
3 seconds.
hellacious storm the next day on Sunday.
Yep.
So yeah, I think I ended up measuring like
Lessons
3
learned.
fish out of 2 days that weekend.
Jeez, buddy.
Lesson learned: never use a plastic measuring board.
That was a heat story, in
Yeah.
almost under a minute. that just set a new record right there.
Friggin' which way today.
All right, Captain Lance.
Yeah, you know.
I could tell you 100. You know, I've backed the boat down the ramp with the back strap still on, tried to, run her off the trailer. All that stuff. The one that sticks out in my mind is I was fishing a professional walleye trail tournament. And actually had it last 20 minutes of the last day. Had a nice pot of fish. Like, man, this is gonna be a good day. I was catching them on crawler harnesses on bottom bouncers, and I got my third big fish in, and crawler harness snapped. And it was the only one I had of that color. So I'm literally on my hands and knees, crawling around picking up beads and clevis and hooks and retying a harness. And I get it all retied and I get it all set and I find another blade and I stick the blade on there and I put it on the bottom bouncer and I'm ready to go. I look at my watch and I got like 10 minutes to fish. I'm like, man, I'm on these fish big time, right? This is going to be a great day. So I get all tied up, ready to go, put it on the bottom bouncer and I go boom and I go, shit, didn't put it on the rod. There goes the bottom bouncer, there goes my good harness, and there goes my lucky blade right to the bottom.
Oh, dang. That's a good
and
one.
that was it. Never caught another fish. Came with
came
three
in.
that day. So,
that's
yeah.
a good one. All right, good stories. That's
All
the
right.
best part about this, swapping stories.
All right, you ready for some giveaways?
Let's do it.
All right, so from the Topwater side of things, what are we giving away for this? I don't remember.
The t-shirt.
All right, t-shirt. Mr. Don Roth.
Don Roth.
Attaboy,
All
Don.
right. Well done, Roth.
Do we know Don?
Oh yeah, Don is big time Michigan Kayak Trail Topwater supporter, Team Water Dog.
We just know him.
It's not green, so I don't know if he's gonna wear it or not.
He ain't
I
gonna
know.
like it.
Pittsburgh Steeler yellow.
There's
little
enough
bit of Pittsburgh
yellow
Steelers.
in there
He
for.
might think that's yellow.
Oh, let's not even talk Pittsburgh Steelers and all that. We don't even get
We don't
into
have
that.
another show for that. Congratulations, Don.
Good job, Don. I was just joking.
All right. And,
All right. And
Teachin
on the
Fishin
flip side of
viewers.
things, on the Teachin side, I have a Brian Henley.
Really?
Brian Henley. All right.
That away, bro.
Oh, I
Thanks,
see his
Brian.
post there.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining us,
Nice
Brian.
mug, yeah.
Gonna send this awesome camping mug to you. Make sure to jump on the Topwater page and just send us a message, and we'll get in contact with you. We'll get your address and get this shipped out to you right away. All right.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
You know, what a great episode tonight with this many people in house. Love having everybody in the studio. Love hearing everybody's stories. Again, that's why we're here. Swapping stories. Can't wait to get out fishing with everybody. I want to say some thank yous. Lewis, thanks for joining us again tonight. Appreciate you being here every week.
Anytime,
And,
man. I love it.
Can't wait to get out fishing with you, man.
Yeah.
So thanks for continually supporting
This
us
is a
and
group
being
therapy.
here.
It's gotta be
It's
here.
group therapy. Exactly.
Hi, Lewis.
My name's Lewis. I'm a fishing problem.
Welcome. I already have my gold chip. Or whatever it is.
30 days without buying a new
30
crankbait.
days.
Ooh, I'm already
It's like
out.
18 episodes in.
yesterday.
Pat and Jen DeGeis, Blue Fox Gifts, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for the awesome promotional gear, and I wear this with pride, and I can't thank you guys enough for supporting us and supporting MKT, supporting Topwater. Can't wait to get out fishing with you guys. You guys are going to teach me how to do some river fishing.
Yeah.
And can't wait to get out there and enjoy it with you guys. So thanks for making the trip over. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for having us.
2019 Topwater Angler of the Year, Matt Pyatt. Thanks for joining us again, bud. You acted like you didn't know that. Like that was news.
Really?
Thanks again for joining us, man, here every other week, and really appreciate the time and dedication into what goes on around here. And Always.
Wait to be back in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, can't wait. Fishing personality, fishing with Mr. Diesel.
That's me.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you taking the time to come out. You're here every week. Love
That
it.
is you.
Woo,
I have nothing else to do.
Over in the guest, Topwater Tournament Director of the Roots Division, Cody Hart. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming up with the last cast topics. Much appreciated. And thanks for
Mr.
paying me for those
Diesel
Girl
peed all
Scout
over my
cookies.
parade.
Riley will appreciate it. Keith Atwell, MKT, and Topwater Angler. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a wealth of knowledge, and thanks for sharing your fishing fill. That was a good one.
Yeah, right. Again, thanks for letting me join y'all. I
10 seconds.
definitely enjoy it every
10 seconds.
What?
You guys are
I love it.
5 seconds.
Mr. Van Dusen, thank you so much for joining us, MKT and Topwater Angler. Thanks for stopping in tonight. Don't forget to collect your prize pack sitting on the table over there. Sammy K, MKT and Topwater Angler, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And last but not least, Captain Lance Valentine with Teachin Fishin,
Awesome.
teachinfishin.com. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
joining
having me
us.
over. I'm leaving here with 12 new fishing friends. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate you having me over. Fantastic.
We hope the Teachin
And
Fishin
one
viewers
guy.
at home enjoyed the show tonight. It was fun to do the dual broadcast tonight with the Teachin Fishin guys, and definitely want everybody to take a minute, jump over, check out the teachinfishin.com website. Awesome setup they have. We went through it a little bit, but go do your homework. No pun there. Check out the Blue Fox Gifts website as well. Support those that support the angling community. And Grant in the back, Kyle in the back, thank you guys so much. Job well done again tonight.
Good night, everybody.
All right, we'll see you next week.